Recording, and I am streaming to your channel now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, too bad. Mumu, let me know when you're live so that I can put your stream in.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Alright. I think this is what I'm going to do.
You gave me the key earlier, right?
All right, I'm gonna bring NKBot up in
Do you
Spike's
use
channel.
OBS or do you use XSplit?
No, I use OBS, but I forgot to switch it to Hitbox.
Switch it to Hitbox and throw the key in there. You should be good.
Yep.
Oh, I need to open
All
up
right,
Spike's.
are you in Spike's chat?
I mean 1 sec so I can load this up.
Chat is hidden. Dude, why is it hidden?
Because you popped it out.
Fuck you. Alright.
Oh, I should have.
DKC, Tropical Freeze,
Apologies on the clicking, everybody. I forgot to mute.
SGDQ, Race, Pitch, Recording.
Alright.
Twitch.tv/SpikeVegeta.
Right.
Hashtag DKCTF4 SGDQ 2015.
Alright.
Can they hear
Hashtag-
me on Spike's channel?
Yeah, right now I don't have the Skype call muted to it, so everything that you guys say is going to the thing. So
Oh shit.
Hi, Spike's channel.
Oh shit, me. So why is your stream still loading for me on Hitbox?
refresh again, see what happens.
Alright, I'm refreshing again for the 4th time.
Oh,
Oh,
the 6-6 is bad.
I'll check
Hope this
it.
doesn't happen in the
Maybe,
race.
okay, you know what? I'm gonna take, if I take the Hitbox link, can't I put it in VLC?
You might be able to. Let me check mine. Let me see if I can load it myself and see what's going on. Okay, I've got it. It's working for me.
It's probably my computer, I wouldn't worry about it.
So yeah, it looks
Media.
fine to me.
Open network stream. Dude, go away.
Oh, do you have your gameplay?
Damn! Oh.
I thought it was funny when I saw my first picture. It was showing my when I was streaming my Persona 4
What the
Gold and stuff
fuck?
to it.
What's up, Moo?
I was trying to get my sub-region because I have a stupid ghetto monitor capture for my game feed, and I was trying to drag it over. It was like pulling a fucking sock rope out of a clown's mouth. It just kept coming.
All right, Mumu, are you
can't-
live?
I can't play this on VLC.
Okay,
I am
Google. Those are the NKBot commands,
Okay. Ah, cool. So you are sort of kind of
and they
live.
only work for a couple of you.
Seeing some stuff.
Yeah, can you see my screen and everything?
Yeah, I can see it.
Stuff is up now, yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as you get your stuff off, I'll go ahead and show your stream to your gameplay of the world.
Okay, so so just have me muted because otherwise, yeah, just have me muted.
No, you're gonna exit the call once we start the race.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean muted like your stream?
Yeah, mute my
Oh,
Yeah,
screen.
your stream is muted. All the streams are muted. There's no audio for gameplay or stuff. Actually, while I'm at this, I should throw some music on or something.
Okay, because if you don't have me muted, then you're going to hear everyone in the Skype call.
Yeah, that's why I've already got it muted, because everyone else has the Skype call going.
I swear to God, I'm about to go get my laptop. This is so stupid.
Hmm.
It won't load your stream. It's been loading your stream for like ever. I keep refreshing and it's like, nah, we don't care.
So I'm hosting you, right? Ghoul02?
No, you're hosting SpikeVegeta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dummy.
Love you,
Alright.
baby.
Shut up, bitch.
So, let's do...
He beats me.
And then Mumu is now live. Okay, cool. We've got images on all of these, and I need to resize yours because it's not quite perfect.
Man, this shit looks pristine on my channel. But I
Mumu.
can't load this damn hitbox. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my laptop.
I'm so bad.
Alright,
Intense.
What are we doing?
Mumu is live. Alright.
Oh, I saw that coming. Oh well, already conked out.
Looks like I can watch the 3 hitboxes just fine, so I'll just do that. It hasn't stopped for me for a long time.
Maybe you're really quiet again.
What?
No, you're back to normal now.
I don't know what's going on. so I'm just gonna forget it.
Okay, I made a race channel, by the way.
Are you guys gonna do this on SRL?
Might as well.
All right, let me get MIRC open so I can actually like follow this. So I'm gonna enter the race and I'm gonna unenter to start
I'm
it.
not gonna use the. Okay.
It's kind of like what they did for that. I'm gonna unenter when everyone else is ready, and that's gonna start the countdown for 10 seconds. So.
Oh, we're using SRL?
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently.
I'm gonna lose a bunch of points.
Yo, Moo Moo with the practice. Oh.
What a dirty peer.
All right. I think it's 10:30. The racers wouldn't mind exiting the Skype call. We can do a pregame show.
Okay.
Pay attention. Like type inside of the race channel and say, you know, like, okay, we're gonna be ready pretty soon here. So like from 10 minutes from now, I'm gonna like unenter basically. So try to be ready in about 10 minutes or whatever. Do whatever you need to do before then.
Okay.
Sound good?
All right, I'm gonna get out of the Skype call then. See you later.
See you.
Bye, NK. Good luck.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Good luck.
All right. So it should be just me, Newbie, and Spike. Yes, it is.
Hi. Is it working for you, Spike?
So let me grab. Let's see, where is? I'm gonna use NK for audio for now.
Alright.
Is it working for you?
I'm busting open my laptop because it will not load on my computer.
So you're gonna have your Skype call on one computer and the thing on the other.
Yep. Yeah,
Alright.
it just will not load your stream.
So let me make sure I have the right image out there. Yep, NKB is the one with the music. Alright. Spike, do you want to do the pregame show now? Are you good to do that while you're loading this up, or do you want to hold off for a minute or two?
I mean, sure, yeah, I can do it. Let me give me just 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give you a minute or so. So actually, we probably need like 9 minutes or so. So I'm gonna start the timer now. At 9 minutes, we'll start a pregame show.
You don't seem super exhausted from the whole day at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dude, that sucks.
I've
feel a lot
literally
going
been talking all day, but that's whatever.
Yeah.
We're positive. We're sitting here.
The
We're about to
life
do
of
some
a
tropical
pro
doggish.
Twitch streamer.
It's gonna be sick as shit. All right,
Oh man.
open up this
Watching the
chat
practice
room.
is so exciting.
This is pretty exciting.
Yeah,
I'm so
so
excited.
welcome everyone. Hey, it works on my laptop. All right, let's see. Let's see if it moves. All right, it's thinking about it. The laptop's not great either. Let's see if we can do it. Come on, laptop, I believe in you. I believe in you. Of course, it still says I'm watching Persona 4 Golden. I feel lied to.
He's like, forget it. Cancel the stream and do a Persona 4 speedruns. What? Cool, what the hell? Also, let me know if my mic goes randomly quiet again. I think the plug
Test.
might
This
be
is making
popping
sure
out.
my mic sounds good. Okay.
Okay, so just so I know, what's the, like, what times are you guys looking at right now? What's it minus?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm seeing, like, minus 845, 844, 843. That's on the...
It's 822, 821, 820.
Right, so...
Is what it really is.
Right, okay. Trying to... Oh, for the love of tits, dude. Come on. I believe in you.
I don't even know if there is.
Boom. Oh, dude, I never noticed that.
What?
Is this?
like the floor below you in Scowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for the first phase, it's bouncing with the beat.
The floor is bouncing?
Yeah, the floor is bouncing with the beat. That is awesome.
Wow.
Wait, what? It is?
Yeah, the floor moves like up and down just a hair to the beat.
I've never noticed that.
That's pretty cool. The little things you don't notice.
Until you
NK
see
almost
NK
missed
screw
that
around.
He almost missed that hit, too.
Alright.
What am I hearing?
Oh, that's... Yeah, just a second.
Okay. I'm just making sure it wasn't on my end.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, 5 minutes, we'll start our pregame then.
Okay, sure. What do you want to talk about with the pregame? What's going on here?
We're gonna like say this is our pitch, we're gonna talk a bit about each of the racers, why, these three are the racers in this.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Whatever you do in a pregame show, basically.
The hell? It's all new to me. Oh, Moo, you suck.
So, Spike, you have 1 minute 40 seconds.
Okay, cool. All right. Oh, it's running ads for me. Why are ads running for me on this? Are you trying to make money off this school? Are you trying to hitbox the competitor? Man, this is bullshit.
The ads revenue.
I've totally partnered with Hitbox, I'm sorry.
Nice school. You made 350 doing this stream.
Minus 625, 24, 23.
Okay, yeah, you're like 6 seconds behind.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
Okay, so I'm 6 seconds behind. Newbie, how many seconds are you far behind?
I'm watching the live hitbox.
He's watching the live feeds.
So
He's got 3 hitboxes open.
Should be within a second.
He's not using my channel as a thing.
Yeah, I'm not even watching the channel. I'm not watching any of that other stuff. Just the 3 hitboxes in Skype. That's all I have open.
That's annoying. All right, we'll work on that later. But yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome to this is our summer games.
Hold on. We're gonna wait like 45 seconds. I will say, I will count down and that'll be the 5-minute
okay.
mark.
We're gonna do it starting at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, it just makes it easier, especially for cutting the recording and sending it off.
Yeah, that's better.
So you got 35 seconds.
Okay.
So. Alright, we have 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Yeah.
Sick. I'm so hyped.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to, we are the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze community, and we are here with our Summer Games Done Quick 2015 pitch. We just did this game at SGDQ 2015, just recently, and Michael Goldfish, the world record holder, actually did his solo run of that. The thing is, while that was a good representation of the game, we also found that races between us have always been super fun. We decided that we thought a good representation of this game and this community was a 3-way race. These are 3 of the top 5 runners in the game. Mumu Akai on your top left, who's actually tied with me for 2nd place. NKB on your right, who is currently the 4th place runner in this game, only 6 seconds behind in PB for Mumu Akai. And Crunch on the bottom with the 5th place time and the world record in the 100% category of this game. They are the 3 runners. To note, all 3 of these runners, their 80% PBs are separated by a mere 16 seconds. Our races in the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, we do a weekly every Thursday night, which is actually when we're recording this. And they have always been very, very close, very exciting all the way down to the end. This game is the kind of game that it's punishing. You can die and lose quite a bit of time. You can make other mistakes and lose quite a bit of time. So even when you think someone's out of it, they can pull right back into it. So we think this would be a great pitch for Summer Games Done Quick 2015, as I've been said. I'm joined now by my other 2 commentators. I am SpikeVegeta, if you 2 want to introduce yourselves. We'll start with Ghoul.
Yeah, I'm Ghoul02. I was one of the earlier runners of this game, although Newbie, I guess, also takes that distinction as well.
Yeah, I'm not so newbie. I did commentary for AGDQ as well. I was on the couch there with Goldfish and the rest of the gang.
Yeah, we all 3 did commentary at AGDQ, so we're pretty ready for this. And these are the 3 runners who would be running the game if we got this into Summer Games Done Quick 2015. Again, you've got 3 runners who are all very, very close to one another, so should make for a pretty entertaining race.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, for sure. We're sitting here. We're going to be counting down the timer. As you can see, the timer in your bottom right corner. We're going to be starting in a little over 2.5 minutes here. Before we get into it, do you guys want to explain the basic idea behind? They're eventually going to be scanning on the world map. Do one of you want to explain kind of why we're doing that instead of watching the opening cutscene?
Go ahead, Ghoul.
Yeah, the main reason for that is pretty simple. Basically, this game's first load is notoriously finicky for being kind of random, no matter how you do it. So starting on that just kind of keeps it consistent, as well as allowing us to really standardize that. You'll see, even with that, there's a little bit of variation, but it just makes it a lot more standard. As well as that, the first cutscene, the opening of the game is a 3-minute cutscene that can't be skipped, and very early on we decided that wasn't going to be the best thing for getting an optimized time. So we decided to basically just make a race file where you start on 1-1 as though you started from a new game file.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaking day when they were like, oh, or when, we got the game. It was the second day, the first time I do a casual playthrough, of course, I'm watching the opening cutscene. And I'm like, all right, time to speedrun this. And we get in there, and the opening cutscene is unskippable. It's about the saddest day of my life. I don't know what's the concept with newer games, so Rayman Origins and Donkey Kong Country Returns, 2 modern games that I run. Both of them have skippable opening cutscenes. Rayman Legends and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, the respective sequels to those series, both of them have unskippable opening cutscenes. So if you want to make sense of that, you can, but I don't personally get it. So to explain a little bit about just this, actually, I guess I'll hand it off to Newbie. Do you want to explain a little bit about kind of what the jump, because you played Returns, what the jump from Returns to Tropical Freeze brings from a speedrunning environment?
Yeah, so in Returns, in this game as well, you play as solo DK for the entire game, but you have a partner. So in Returns, you have Diddy, and he gives you like a little hover ability and also an infinite roll, so you don't have to continuously roll and jump and roll and jump. But in Tropical Freeze, they added 2 more characters, Dixie and Cranky, 2 other Kongs, and they actually give you a ton of new movement options. Dixie gives you a hover just like Diddy, except can actually go a little bit higher, so you can reach actually heights that Diddy can't reach. And then Cranky gives you a cane bounce, which gives you the same height that Dixie would give, except you don't have to flutter or anything. You just bounce up. The cane also does a couple other things, and they all have new abilities underwater too, which is brand new to this game. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. And what's great about the speedrun in Tropical Freeze is it mixes it up, so you can actually there's all the different Kongs are useful in different situations and different levels too, which is good.
Yeah, we're heading into our starting time, just getting the runners, the 3 racers set up. I don't know if anybody else is doing this, because we actually coincided this with the regular weekly race of this. So, should be, they'll all be setting up pretty soon, probably waiting on the world map for just about 30 seconds, then we'll go ahead and get them started.
All right. Do you guys want to talk about the 3 runners we have, or did we cover that already?
I said a little bit about each of them. I mean, the basic idea, once again, is that all 3 of their PBs are extremely close, which I think would make for a good race. Again, Mumu-Kai has the best PB, tied with me for second place on this at 133.13. NKB only 6 seconds behind at 133.19. And Cruncha at 133.29. The thing about it is, Cruncha debatably might be the best of these 3. He's just by far been the runner that has taken the biggest time off from doing runs of this. He's been focusing on 100%, which he has by a fair margin, actually. So all 3 of these runners, for all intents and purposes, are basically tied. We'll get into kind of specifics of each of them as we go through the run. But again, as you see, they're rearing up, ready to play. Probably just got to wait for a couple of dot readies to get in, and we'll get the sucker started for you guys.
You might also notice with the 3 runners, there's a little bit of different play styles going on. For example, NK tends to use slightly safer strats in a lot of ways, but more consistent. And Mumu-Kai, for example, uses a lot riskier strats, but tend to be a lot less safe. So you'll see stuff like that come up a lot.
For sure.
Which should keep it interesting.
All right, I'm going to unready, which is going to start them in 10 seconds, so...
All right. Tell me when you guys start so I know exactly what my delay is on this evil corporation rival website.
Oh, I got to unenter, not unready.
Oh. I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah. Apologies
but
on
yeah,
the
again, For our SGDQ pitch, this is exactly what the setup would be. It would be myself, Newbie, and Ghoul doing, Super Metroid style commentary for NK, Moo, and Cruncha.
And they're started now.
And they just started for me as well.
Yeah, they just. All right, so we got the intro load. This might have a slight amount of variance because they didn't have the full minute on the beginning, so we'll see. Yeah, it looks to me like NK got a slightly better load than Cruncha, and Moo got a little bit gypped in that. That tends to happen.
Yeah, it looks like there's just a little bit of stream time. I think they all had about the same setup time. So, you're actually, instead of what you end up seeing now, are all three of them?
Yeah, all three of them.
Okay.
We have no co-op
I actually
strats.
didn't know if one of them was. So, I guess to go ahead and explain, there's actually two different ways you can elect to start this game. They're actually pretty similar in time, but you can either start the game in one-player or two-player mode. With two-player, then you have a second controller, and you would actually get an opportunity to start with a Kong. You can start with Diddy, Dixie, or Cranky. The preferred Kong would be Cranky, since he is the fastest Kong for this level. However, in this level, a lot of what World 1 ends up being is kind of the tutorial world. 1-1, they only give you Diddy. 1-2, they only give you Dixie. 1-3, they finally give you Cranky. And that's where kind of whether you want to play with one player or two player would sort of match up in time. At one point we said it was about 4 seconds that it saves to go in two-player mode. But I honestly, after a couple of weeks ago, after we saw the showcase race, I don't even think it's that much. It's really a minuscule amount. So it's pretty much player preference.
Right.
I guess technically it caused a small amount of controversy within the community, but not really.
It's almost like a fake controversy. Like, we joke that it is one, but everybody's pretty chill with it. In general, if you use it or don't, we know it doesn't matter enough, so we're just kind of like, okay, it is what it is. And in general, the guys that use it because the beginning levels, they think are more fun to use Cranky than to use Diddy and Dixie. So, I think it's a bit debatable. I like using Diddy in 1-2 slightly more, but Cranky does make 1-1 a bit cleaner.
But I don't know if we want to maybe try pausing and unpausing Moomoo's stream. I don't know if that has any effect on it or not. Yeah. Looks like NK and Cruncha on stream at least look like they're pretty much tied up. Moo a few seconds behind. It looks like realistically they're all tied coming out of 1-1.
Yeah, they're both very similar. Yep.
Yeah, 1-1's really not a big deal. They all had some pretty clean swimming in the opening part. If you played in two-player, then you could have just skipped across that entire water section with the water skip mechanic if you started with in two-player. But again, obviously they're all electing not to do that, which I think is cool that they're all going to just make it a little easier to compare the three of them.
It's also a slightly different look than what people might have seen from this if all you saw was the SGDQ run.
Yeah, that's true as well.
The thing about starting with the one-player strats as well is that you actually can see each Kong's advantage within the first 3 levels. In this level, you'll see they keep Diddy, and he'll be going through underwater section. Now, in the underwater sections, they all have different abilities, and Diddy's ability is a boost underwater. So you'll see you can go pretty fast through the water there. Looks like NK's having a little bit of trouble getting through, but he's
NK
not doing too
made
bad.
a small mistake. That's a pretty easy mistake to make. Oh, Moo just had a bonk as well. So right here, you'll see Cruncha in the bottom left just switch to Dixie. This is going to be our first little taste of My Girl.
Yeah, that's so cool. As the resident Dixie fan club president, what's good about her?
So outside of water, she's got what we deem the flutter, which kind of acts like a combination of the hover mixed with a little bit of a second jump mechanic, basically. So, yeah, basically the difference between her and Diddy is that she's better in every way because she does everything Diddy does, but she also gives you extra height. So we call her the eraser in a lot of situations. If you make a mistake with Dixie, you just kind of will flutter back to the right section.
I like calling her the oops negator.
Yeah,
I think that's a good title for her.
Yeah, so she's a lot easier to use. Now, funnily enough, she's actually the hardest character to optimize, just because you want to use that as little as possible, because it does take away all of your stored roll speed whenever you do use that flutter.
And again, like I explained here, Crunch having a little bit of trouble actually on that little jump there with Dixie, but not too big of a deal. Again, you'll see little mistakes here and there by all of them. Again, the biggest thing about this race is avoiding the big mistake, because the game is very punishing. But again, this is where, whether you're doing one player or two player, the routes meet up. We are essentially Scrooge McDuck. Newbie, do you want to explain a little bit about what's so cool about Cranky and why we're going to be using him a lot?
Yeah, Cranky's got the best ability in the game, I think, by far, for speedrunning. The cane does a lot of things for you. The first most important thing is that it keeps all your momentum going forward. So if you do a roll jump, you can keep that speed going by pogoing instead of continually roll jumping. What actually ends up happening is every time you do a roll jump, it costs you 0.1 second to do that. And that doesn't sound like very much, but you do multiple cane bounces in every level. So it actually adds up to a couple seconds within each world. So you want to be doing pogos most of the time.
Mumu made a couple of small mistakes there. So he lost probably about 3 seconds on the others in that level, just from a couple of very, very small, seemingly innocuous mistakes. But with these pogo routes, if you make small mistakes, they can often add up to a death, or in Mumu's case, losing Cranky and having to grab him again later on in the level.
Right. It is slightly faster to go ahead and grab that Cranky barrel as opposed to waiting to grab the 1-in-1 boss. Because going into this next level, there is something we call the barrel skip at the very beginning. By spacing your pogos properly on this platform you see coming up here that's going to kind of fall down, you're going to avoid the trigger that makes it go, that makes the platform fall down, and you're going to pogo off the very edge of it to skip over the barrel and get into the minecart, which will save them about a quarter of a second. Let's see if they all get it.
You'll see Cruncha didn't go for it. NK and Mumu both went for it and got it, so we're not going to have a 10-second death from that.
That's good.
We have our first of the auto-scrollers. Well, it's a pseudo-auto-scroller. There are ways to speed this up. Anytime you're going downhill, you're moving slightly faster than you are on flat ground. If you're moving uphill, you move slightly slower. So you'll see a lot of optimization where they'll jump at the bottom of hills to try to carry that speed as long as possible, and you jump up hills to avoid the speed loss from going up hills. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up to about 2 seconds between doing this kind of as you would in a casual playthrough, which in a race like this is obviously pretty important.
Yeah, again, to note, once again, I keep going over it, but the PBs of these 3 runners are separated by only 16 seconds. So, yeah, you know, people always make fun of, speedrunners, how we talk about, oh, frame saver this, frame saver that, saving a few frames here and there. And when your PBs are separated by 16 seconds, I mean, that's the difference between Mumu taking second place from me and just tying me when you think about it that way. So always, and that's the thing. While we're here in this auto scroller, we want to explain a little bit about each of these runners and their different personalities. I'll take Mumu. Mumu is like the balls to the walls. He's got, I know this isn't a great pitch for a marathon, but he's going to go for everything. He doesn't want to hold back. He wants to get all the best strats, more so than even winning at this race. So we'll see if maybe his strategies adjust a little bit now that he's in a race in this type of setting. Gould, do you want to explain a little bit about NK?
I was going to take Cruncha, but...
Oh, okay, you take Cruncha, Newbie gets NK.
Cruncha to me is kind of the innovator. He's found a lot of new strats for this game, which is why he's had multiple points. He's had, at one point, 10 of the IL world records. IL stands for individual level, of course, which is
the time trial. 11 at one point. I think he's had a ton. Whatever it's been, he's had a ton.
Yeah, he's known for kind of like coming up with just small improvements on every level in the game, basically. Which is why he's also got the 100% world record, is he's found stuff that nobody thought was even like smart to do, like using Cranky in 2K instead of using Dixie for safety and things like that. So with him, just expect to see a lot of just cool tech, and he doesn't go as risky as Mumu does, especially in a race setting like this, but he's going to look pretty good.
Yeah. And Newbie, if you want to explain a little bit about NK, like as we're starting this boss.
Yeah, NK, he's been around for a while, since close to the beginning. He also developed a fair amount of strats, but in general, he goes for more of the safer stuff. He won't go for the absolute riskiest strats most of the time, but that works to his favor. He does runs very often. He streams consistently, so he's got a ton of work put into it and a ton of consistency in that regard as well. And he does exclusively 80%, so...
And you kind of see it like put on display right there. Cruncha and Mumu going for the God Cods.
Right.
The God Cod being back there when essentially you can bounce off of those little walruses with their shields at the top of the platforms and actually bounce you on top of those fish as they're like at the height of their jump. That saves about, what is it, like a quarter of a second each time? Half a second each time?
It saves about a second each time.
And with that new setup, actually, you don't lose much time, more than a frame or two if you miss it now. So it's very safe to go for.
It's become a lot safer, yeah, thanks to Mumu and Goldfish actually developing it.
But yeah, the basic idea for those first few hits is you can hit him, or he will jump back into the foreground as soon as you clear out all the enemies. So that's another reason you saw one of them were like the spiky or spiny enemies. Cranky's the only one who can land on spiked surfaces, including enemies, whether, you'll see some enemies have spiked helmets, there's the spiny enemies there. So that's why Cranky is practically required for almost all the boss
We have the early fattest number 2, which Cruncha just nailed. No ghost fish here. Oh, Moo missed it.
Misses it. NK gets it, too.
NK gets it, so that's that's a surprisingly large time loss, actually.
That's going to have to...
Oh, good thing for Moo, he did avoid losing Cranky there.
Yeah, and that's a heart right there, which is going to make sure that he's going to keep him going into 2-1, which is something you definitely want. It's
Cruncha finishes the boss first.
Yeah, Cruncha's in the lead right now, according to our streams.
NK and Moo very close now.
Yeah, very close race so far, which is good. We expected this. We don't expect these guys to make large mistakes in World 1.
No.
Right. So going into World 2, again, kind of like I said earlier, World 1, kind of the tutorial world. Like, it's cool they all go through it, but it's really not that interesting of a world. You got your like, introducing you to the different Kongs, an auto-scroller, and a boss. Kind of like, almost like your starter deck, if you're playing a card game. But here, this is where really the game kicks it up a notch. 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3. I know the world record holder, Michael Goldfish, actually considers this to maybe be the hardest stretch of the game, which is pretty ball-busting for this early on.
Well, he's kind of known for taking early deaths in races, so it doesn't surprise me that he thinks these are a lot harder than later levels. But anyways,
little trash talk of Michael Goldfish. I'll take that as trash talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden you can see, here we are in World 2, and what do you know? There are pits. There's actual, like, reasonable ways to die. You see Cruncha going through this section right here with the windmills, and the others coming up to it now. All of a sudden, a lot of it just comes down to spacing out your jumps and your pogos, obviously, in a very specific way to catch all these platforms in the right cycles, making sure you're not landing on certain platforms as they're moving away, because that obviously will slow you down. But yeah, this is definitely the first place in the run where very realistic resets happen.
Cruncha not quite perfect through the tower section, but he didn't make any large mistakes or falls, so he should be good. So right here, this level is surprising because it's fastest with Dixie, but we use Cranky in the run. And the reason is because this little section right here where you're riding that, you can skip entirely with Dixie. Cranky, you have to wait just long enough to get down to the bottom. So, but Cranky saves a lot of time in 2-2. So we all want to keep him through this level, and there's no other way to get Cranky before we actually need him. So...
Looks like Cruncha gets through the last section cleanly, and it looks like NK and Moo are just behind.
They're in a... Yeah. Moo and NK are in a dead heat, and this is not really that much of a lead at all for Cruncha.
There's actually a little bit of a risky strat that was on that very large jump they rolled right off. None of them went for it, though, which is interesting. I thought Moo might have gone for it, but he went the safer route. You can go about a second earlier, and it's a bit riskier, but you're able to still make the barrel.
So with that, they all survived through 2-1, and now 2-2 begins.
This is where we're going to start to see some separation. If one of them misses a pair of boosts in the middle of this level.
Right.
So
again, the biggest thing about this game, though, is even if they miss it, if they know their backup strats, then they can keep it close. But we'll see how it all goes. So you saw maybe a little bit in the last level. I'm not sure if maybe like Moo or someone went for it, but there's a strat. The big piece of movement tech in this game is basically maintaining momentum, kind of combining your momentum with the momentum of like a moving platform, or as we'll see later on in the game, sometimes tornadoes, ice physics, all sorts of stuff.
NK Moo are tied up, by the way.
They are tied, yes.
So right here, we're going to see Cruncha show off the first little bit of it. As he rides that and it swings forward, it's actually going to add that speed to his running speed, which allows him to get just a large boost of speed. And it's a very short one right there. You'll see a lot more of it coming up. You'll see Moo and NK. Oh, Moo keeping Rambi.
Yeah, that's a brand new strat, actually, just a few weeks old.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to save time. So now he's caught back up again with NK, even though he lost a little bit on the jump.
Yeah, because NK is going to have to stop and grab that. Wow, they are literally
Yeah.
All right,
Cruncha
so here's the first big
Cruncha
one.
held up on the first boost. He did not quite go for the full one, which is fine.
I think is smart. In this race, I don't blame him for doing that.
Nobody went for it. Here we go. Cruncha, Pogo, off the box. He's through. He got the boost.
Nice. Cruncha got
1 for 1.
See it?
Almost into the Cave of Wonders. Okay. MK and Mumu almost tied. They both got it side by side.
Wow.
Oh, baby.
All three of them
for
got
three.
first spot, got the 2-2 boost. That's amazing.
That is an incredible. Like when you start learning this game, this is the level that walls you. It's just you'll get stuck here forever trying to learn all the. Because that's like, I don't think it looked easy, but you can probably tell like the spacing of all your pogos is incredibly specific. Mainly because you're swinging underneath certain platform or certain ceilings, so you have to shorten your pogo in certain situations. It's incredibly tight.
On top of that, the actual jump, like the speed you get off of the swinging thing is slightly variable in like where you jump, so you have to be able to adjust for that as well, which the fact that all three runners are able to do that this consistently is just fantastic.
That was great. That was good too.
That's definitely that was the first. I wasn't gonna lie. I tried to downplay it, but I was kind of holding my breath, like, oh, are they all gonna be able to hit this? They're, of course, again, these are three incredibly experienced runners. They've all been playing the game since pretty much
release.
Yeah, Mumu's maybe not quite that old. Cruncha and NK have pretty much been playing since the start with us. Mumu's a little newer, but as you can see, the fact that he's got the best PB of the three of these runners, he is quickly moving himself up the ranks. Looking like he'll probably be the second runner to achieve a 132 in this game.
Right.
With that, we've already talked over half this level. This level's insane.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest levels to learn for the first time as well, because it syncs up all of these level cycles, like for the leaves and stuff, with the music. So if you make small mistakes in this level, they get magnified because it's very easy to fall in a pit when you don't know where the leaves are.
Oh, I love that move by Mumu.
Mumu with the absolutely optimized version of this, all pogos pretty much, actually puts him, you see, a little bit ahead of NK.
Yeah, you can see
because of the way NK does the level.
And you see, it's just a little bit here and there, and it does make it harder, but you'll notice that throughout the race, that Mumu's just a little more aggressive, NK a little safer. It pays up. Oh, yeah, by the way. Excuse me.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. So yeah, shouts to in-jokes in the community. So you'll see it, like, with Mumu versus NK in particular, we look at, like, those two, kind of the extremes of the community. Mumu, a little more aggressive, gonna help on these levels, but is it gonna help NK in other levels? The biggest thing about NK, we talk about, it almost sounds like we're downplaying his skill level. He has, like, 17 or 18 deathless runs in this game. The most anybody else has is, like, 5.
Yeah, I think Mumu has one deathless run, 1 or 2.
Yeah. I've had like 4 or 5 myself. Like Goldfish is probably in that same sort of ballpark, maybe a few more. So if you want to bet on this race, not that we condone betting, NK is going to give you the consistency. Mumu's going to go for everything though, so we'll see if that pays off for him. Mumu probably has the highest ceiling in this race.
I'm going to put my money on Cruncha though.
Yeah, Crunch is almost got a mix of both.
He's got a mix of both, as well as having the most experience with all the levels, thanks to that Hundo experience. I don't know. I got a good feeling about my boy Cruncha in this race.
The only thing I'll say about Cruncha is he hasn't been doing he's been doing a ton of 100%, but not a lot of any percent, and that does change things a little bit. To note, Newbie, I'll kind of kick it over to you since you actually now have the number 2 timing 100%. You want to explain a little bit about 100% while we're going through this auto-scroller?
Yeah, the biggest difference between 100% is that you're actually going to be playing all the levels in the game. And to get the secret levels, you need to get all the Kongs in every level. So it does add a bit of diversity to the normal levels from any percent, but then you get to do all this, the alternate routes and all the K levels and World 7 as well. So it makes it about an hour and a little bit longer now. So, yeah.
There's actually one time where we considered pitching a sort of community 100% run. I know we did pitch it for SGDQ. We thought maybe we'd pitch it for this one as well, but we thought the race was the best way to kind of represent the game. Little shorter commitment. 100% adds about an hour to the game. A little over an hour.
An hour and a little bit, yeah. But what happened with Cruncha, at least, and me when I started doing a lot of Hundo, is you end up learning new ways to go through levels. Because you have to optimize getting the Kong letters as well. So you learn new routes, and because of that, you can actually learn more consistent routes that work for any percent as well.
Yeah, I also the other person I point to that is Spike. You were not on this kind of a level until you started doing Hundo yourself.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
So I think it improves you that much as a player. So I'm
Improving
looking
your
forward.
game in general is always important. So
Right.
Right. Kind of like having to see beyond the parameters of just any percent and saying, all right, let's just get better at the game. Which I think, especially playing some of the K levels, some of the water levels in World 4, World 7, I think it just makes you better at playing the game. But anyways, it looks like all 3 runners got through without a riot in 2-4, so good for them. We always make fun of that if you are not able to beat 2-4 in under 20 minutes, get to the finish barrel in under 20 minutes. Looks like all 3 of them reached that point, though. So with that, you guys have seen a ton of Cranky. Cranky's been all over the place since the start of 1-3, basically. Don't worry, we are using Diddy and Dixie, and as you see, this level, believe it or not, is a Dixie level. You'll hear us say kind of throughout this a lot, and if you watch the HGDQ runs, the same sort of thing. There were a lot of levels that used to be Dixie levels, and then they turn into Cranky levels. Used to be a Dixie level, turn into a Cranky level. Just kind of over and over again. However, this is one of those levels where I don't think there's any shot of Cranky ever taking this one over.
Yeah.
I've tried quite a bit. It doesn't look good.
So basically, the general idea for each of the Kongs is that if there's large gaps that are to cross, in general, Dixie does very well at those because she can skip them much easier than Cranky can. With Cranky, crossing those gaps requires some kind of momentum boost or waiting for whatever the natural cycle is with a vine or something. Which he can make up in a lot of other levels. This doesn't appear to be one of them. There's just so many other things that are kind of moving that require that flutter that it seems like it'd be very hard for Cranky to overtake her in this level.
Yeah, luckily they also give you a Dixie barrel right here, so it's good. But you'll notice with the next level, we actually get rotating barrels, which becomes pretty important in a lot of levels, including the next one.
Yeah, the next level is actually the first rotating barrel where it's actually kind of a thing, and or it comes to mean something in the run. So to explain a little bit about rotating barrels, so again, throughout most of the game to this point, you've seen there's a Diddy Kong barrel, just a Dixie Kong barrel, just a Cranky Kong barrel. Now they're going to start introducing you. They've already introduced it before, but mainly you're going to see in this level as it pertains to us. Rotating barrels, where it goes from Diddy to Dixie to Cranky, back to Diddy, and so on and so forth. And they're about 1 second cycles apiece. So if you want to grab Cranky and you miss the Cranky barrel and it goes over to Diddy, then you have to wait a full 3 seconds before you can get Cranky again. So a lot of optimization in this run is based around trying to make sure you don't lose those 3 seconds if you make one little mistake. To note, are any of the runners going for the new God Cranky strats?
I think Mumu is. NK didn't get a good opening, but Mumu did, and I don't think Cruncha is either. He didn't get a great opening. But you'll see...
Newbie, if you want to explain a little bit, how this works.
Yeah, so you'll see a bit later, there's a rotating barrel coming up, and we want Cranky for that barrel. Now, for a long time, we just waited for the Cranky cycle because we didn't think it was possible to get the first cycle that appears, but... one of our newer community members, actually, who Oi Disco, went through and actually figured out you can get it early by having a really good opening section. So we're going to see... Crunch is going to get there first, so you'll see him not get
Crunch
there.
is waiting, so
you saw the Cranky pass.
Let's see, he's waiting that 2 seconds or so to let the barrel come back around.
Let's see if Mumu
So
gets it.
the one to watch here is now going to be Mumu to see if he actually does get this without stopping.
Oh, Mumu
wow. He held
barely
up, though.
missed
That
it.
was good call, because I don't know if he would have had that.
Yeah, it
In
was
a race
extreme.
setting like this.
yeah, that was... Ooh. That was like 3-5 God Cranky levels of close.
Yeah,
That was extremely
if he grabbed the Diddy there, that would have cost him quite a bit of time in the ending section. He also would have to wait at the beginning of the of Scowl for another Cranky barrel to come around. So see right here, kind of fun little momentum boost coming out with Crunch. That's one of my favorite little it's not difficult, it just looks really cool.
Yeah. And it once again kind of shows the just the momentum boosting mechanic in this game by combining your momentum with a moving platform, something that naturally kind of jolts you forward a little bit. So you see Cruncha making his way to the end, got to the finish barrel. Mumu a little bit behind in second place, probably about 6 or 7 seconds. And then we got NK bringing up the rear, all still very close near the end of World 2.
They're still all within 15 seconds of each other.
Now, it doesn't really matter much because we're coming up on, in my opinion, one of the best designed platforming bosses of all time, Scowl. He's super just well designed. He rewards the player for just being good at getting all the egg combos in one little cycle. However, if you miss any, then he also punishes you. If you miss a hit in the first phase, I forget what the numbers are. Ghoul, do you remember what the numbers are for how much time you're losing?
It's like 20 or 30 seconds in the first phase, 15 seconds in the second phase with good RNG, and it's a full minute in the third phase.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So I'll let you go ahead and do play-by-play here because there's a lot of specifics to understand.
Alright, so right here, I'm going to follow Cruncha. Actually, I'm going to go with Mumu. So you see Mumu is what he's going to grab this first egg, throw it up, and hit him. He's going to grab the second, throw it over, hit him on the left. He's going to pogo up again and hit him on the right. So, again, that's perfect. If you miss one of those, you don't get another egg until he goes through a full cycle of animations. So right here, he's going to go right into the barrel. He's going to kind of kill it at a time until the eggs start spawning.
A little bit of swag going on.
Yeah, so he's going to hit the first one, and he's going to grab it. Now he's going to let the other two spawn before he hits Scowl. So even though he can hit him right here, he's going to hit this egg and not do anything with it. Now he's going to go up, up, throw, and then grab that egg before it dies, and then pick up this last one, throw it up. Beautiful second phase by Mumu.
Yep.
Yeah, and you'll notice a little bit of there, just the difference in playstyle from Mumu across from Cruncha and NK. A little more aggressive, pretty much grabbing the eggs and throwing them up almost immediately. Michael Goldfish and Mumu are pretty much the only two runners in the community who go for balls out strats on Scowl, and it shows. It definitely gave, caught Mumu up a few seconds there on Cruncha with those two hits.
Yeah, we'll see. He should definitely have gained a couple seconds at the end of this fight.
I will say, those strats scare me so much.
I don't do them.
It's like we say, you're just risking so much. It's good to see Mumu with how aggressive he is actually hit those strats.
Alright, so right here, Mumu, these other eggs finally spawn. This is why this phase is so punishing, by the way. It's because you go through another cycle of these if you don't kill him before then. So see right now, he's got one egg, so he's got to bop him one time after these eggs fall. So see, these eggs are going to fall, and eventually Scowl's going to fall in one of them. So...
Clean for Cruncha there.
Clean, yep. And he's going to draw up and throw it, so you'll see right there. Perfect, and Mumu caught up a bit there. That was very clean.
He gained a couple seconds.
He definitely,
And NK with a good Scowl as well.
Yep. So all three pretty solid times. I
no.
think with a little bit of stream delay, I think they all three probably 27 flat or below. So very, very strong runs. Anything like sub 27.05 is a very good run to this point. So,
yeah.
And just overall, I would say really solid performance for World 2 for all three runners.
It's hard to find many faults in anything they've done so far. So,
yep.
Yeah.
They're definitely keeping this close.
Now, to note, I just want to throw out there, at the end of Scowl, you could have gone for a strat that saves 2 or 3 seconds. Problem is, if you miss it, you lose that full minute, like Ghoul was talking about. It's essentially one where you get hit dropping the egg that's in your hand. You also then bop on him, and the egg that falls out of your hand bops on his head, almost simultaneously doing a double hit. And ending the boss fight a few seconds earlier. Nobody intentionally goes for it. A couple of us have accidentally done it. I've accidentally done it. Mumu's accidentally done it. But yeah, you don't want to go for it.
Yeah. So this level is another one of those universal cycle levels. So you'll see right here, Cruncha is about to catch a giraffe. This is the first kind of gateway on this level. Each one of these little cycles by them takes 7 seconds. So the goal for this first half of the level is just to catch that cycle. Now you've got one more cycle coming up. And again, it's a 7-second cycle. It's synced with the music. That he's going to look to get... Oh man, Cruncha even going for the swag in.
With the hundo strats there, going for the N.
Oh, baby, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
He didn't get the K, though, dude. What is he doing?
I know.
So this is, one of those levels where, because they are on those universal cycles, you actually can get all 4 of the Kong letters without wasting any time.
Yeah.
And Cruncha being one of those who, again, he is the world record holder for 100%. He knows you can get them. I think with it, being this type of race with a little bit on the line, bragging rights, he's probably not going to go for it. But
the G is really hard to get anyway.
The G is particularly tricky unless you're using the Dixie route through the level. Which is my baby, and it's 2 seconds faster than what everyone else does, but also much harder.
Let's
Everyone
see.
seemed to have a good
Cruncha and Mumu jumped into that barrel a little late. Let's see. Maybe NK.
NK had the same thing. So
I am disappointed. 0 for 3 on getting
the barrels.
essentially that last barrel you jump into before landing on the platform. The earlier you jump into it, for whatever reason, will land you on the most left part of those grass blades, saving you like a quarter or a half a second, something like that. But yeah, all three runners jumping in a little late, probably being a little safe there. I will say, as a commentator, I am disappointed in them. I don't think that should be the three runners. But with that, we go into 3-2, where our AGDQ Deathless run ended. Let's see if all three of these guys can get past that. It's a joke in the community where we always say, I'm going to try to cut the AGDQ, the 135-36, I believe it was, right, by Michael Goldfish. So, this was the first place where he had a major mistake. Let's see if all the runners are able to get through without that.
Crunch and Moo also, with the flower strat there.
Yeah, the flower strats across the board.
As well.
Yeah. Do you want to explain a little bit about the flower strat since you were the one who found it, Newbie?
It's just a specific way you can climb up those flowers that kind of pop out of the ground. There's a pretty fast way of doing it by clipping kind of the left side of one of the flowers, and all three of them got it and were able to climb quickly.
Yeah, it's funny because like if they try to go up through the middle is just a little higher up, even though it doesn't look like it really, than the left side. So you can go up on it, probably the same as the right side. But
also, I'm not 100% sure on this, but it also seems like he'll kind of DK will kind of lift himself up a bit if you're on the edge of a platform. He doesn't seem to do that.
Returns, I know. So I don't know.
Yeah, ledge hopping is definitely it's definitely a small time saver, and it works particularly well on platforms where you can go from underneath like those flowers, because you can reach those little edges you can clip right up.
So you'll see Crunch and Moo Moo both. Wow, no sloppy baobabs though. I will say that.
Congrats on no sloppy baobabs.
All right, so right here, this is going to be a fun one.
Watch Moo Moo.
Muokai is going to be the only one in this race going for this trick.
Really? I thought Crunch went for it.
Cruncho won't be going for it. No, I don't think.
Like, this is by far the hardest trick in the entire game.
Yeah, it's not even close, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, you will definitely want to watch Moo Moo. He's the most likely to nail the trick.
Newbie, do you want to explain, since I don't know how much we're going to be able to do play-by-play, Newbie, explain to us what the hell is going on here.
Actually, let me take play-by-play.
Okay, play-by-play, go.
All right. So hopefully,
you'll see Cruncha going through normally here.
Yeah, you'll see Cruncha is going through normally. So Cruncha is not going for it. Moo Moo, he's going to go to this first tornado, turn around, jump into it, and he's going to get a big momentum boost from that. So he adds the roll, early hit. Okay, he's done. So very, very
and he's
nothing
getting
from
punished hard.
Yeah, he's a bit. It's a bit scary right now because he took that early hit. But yeah, basically these tornadoes throw you out faster than you can roll, and you can also add a roll to it, so you can just move through this level extremely quickly. When it was discovered, the IL world record went down a full 15 seconds. NK losing Cranky.
Ooh, that's gonna make it tougher.
Ooh, NK does lose Cranky. It's not a huge deal time-wise. Not a big deal.
It's not a huge deal. It's one of those things that just kind of throws you off a bit.
Yeah,
it's gonna make the level harder for him, though.
I've had the same problem in this level recently. I feel like you get so screwed up with trying to learn tornado do strats, as we call them, that sometimes it's hard to play the level the normal way. So it's a janky level. Pretty much, you'll find that almost all the Randy levels are the jankiest levels in the game. But places where you are seeing a little bit of time lost by NK to Cruncha and Moo Moo is the fact that he doesn't have Cranky. He has to restart his runs with Randy all the time. Which, Newbie got into a little bit earlier, how every time you have to start up a roll, it's 0.1 seconds slower than doing a pogo with Cranky. With Rambi, every time you have to restart a run with Rambi, then you're losing a full quarter of a second, a full 0.25 seconds, as opposed to 0.1. So it becomes a much bigger deal on these Rambi levels than in the other levels, but still, he gets through it, avoids a major mistake, but yeah. And as you can see, we've switched over to Dixie here.
Yeah,
Cruncha had a really smooth 3-3. For not doing Do-Si-Do.
For no Do-Si-Do. Yeah, Moo Moo got just a little bit of it. He had to end it pretty quickly. Probably overall maybe lost a second or two to going for it. If you get about half of it, then you end up saving about 5 seconds. There's a tornado we call Bitch-nado that if it stops you, then you only get the 5-second time save. However, if you go the full way, all the way through that wind blowing section, it saves you a full 15 seconds. So it becomes pretty important, and the world record actually gets it. So, but the world record for this game is pretty stupid in general, so we won't go into that too much. Again, I'm going to keep handing off the Dixie levels to Ghoul. What can we say about Scorching Torch?
This is one of those levels that's really fun to learn. It's fun to just kind of do, but it's not really that difficult. There's just, you know, as you learn it, you just kind of say, okay, do rolls here. The only thing that's coming up is right here. Moomoo's going through it. We call it the fire droplet skip. And Cruncha getting it, it looked like, unless he held up for it.
Cruncha lost Dixie. He had to go back and he had to pick up a new Dixie, which actually put Moo ahead of him now.
Yeah.
That pulled Cruncha back with the pack.
Yeah, quite a bit far.
Yeah, so now Moo taking first place out of Scorching Torch. First real major mistake for Cruncha, actually. It's been a very clean run from this point. And NK's still not too far behind.
NK's still within striking distance. And to note, any death in this game is at least 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's impossible. Like, 10 is like... and, like, you literally hit the checkpoint and you fell in a pit. Like... Because even then, it's not just the animation of dying, it's also you lose your buddy Kong. You drop back down to solo DK, meaning, you know, in some levels, that's why we made such a big deal out of it, that they didn't want to lose Cranky back in one boss in 2-1, because if they lost him, he wasn't going to come back to them until 2-3, and then 2-2, they wouldn't have been able to do all the Rambi boosts. So... Here we are in the next auto-scroller level. This one is the first of the rocket barrel levels.
Wow. NK falling in the water there. That's... I don't know what happened there.
That's a little weird, but...
wow. Anyway. Stream froze for me, like, right as he was about to jump into the barrel.
But Crunch and Moo basically frame-tied at this point, for all intents and purposes. Very close between those two.
Yeah, God, yeah, it's... Oh, this is disgustingly close.
That should keep it pretty interesting. And you know what? They've all had such good runs up to this point that it's... You know, it's still anyone's game.
So real quick,
I mean, it speaks to just, like, really consistent quality play. You know, I just want to speak to the Tropical Freeze community that we've legitimately, you know, we're not Super Metroid in our size, but we are Super Metroid in the consistency of our weekly any % races. You know, every single week there's at least 3 or 4 of us that get in the race. We've had races where there's been up to 10 of us in the weekly. You know, the community's grown a little bit since AGDQ, so it's been really exciting being a part of this community. I will, you know, not to get teary-eyed or anything, but I'm proud to be an American and part of the Tropical Freeze community. So, yeah. So again, like, with us constantly forcing ourselves to do these races, you can just tell the consistency is there with these runners. And as you see, it's like, Cruncha and Moo are just, yeah, like neck and neck. NK maybe back by about 10 seconds at the most. So
yeah, not even at that point.
Almost 3 full worlds into this game, and they are within 10 seconds of another. So pretty darn good. Going into the next level, this is another one kind of like Scorching Torch. It's one that looks insane. Everybody who watches it goes nuts for it. It's super fun to watch, but in reality, it's not too bad. I will toot my own horn. I'm pretty sure I still have the individual level world record for this, or the IL world record. So shout-outs to me.
It's one of those that just looks really cool, though, because you're jumping out over what looks to be pits, and then all of a sudden things pop up to you, and you're doing bounces off of, you know, all these enemies and stuff to just kind of keep going at the same speed. It's a very flashy level.
If you want to give a little bit of play-by-play, just the hardest part of the level are the flower bounces whenever someone gets to them.
Yeah, basically, those flower bounces, if you're on them, you have a couple of frames after you hit them to do the full jump. If you go too early, you don't get a full bounce or whatever. If you do it too late, you don't get it. You also have to do it at the same time, otherwise you lose all of your roll speed. So, hitting those and keeping your roll speed is by far the hardest part of this level. So... You'll see right here, Cruncha is going through the end barrel section. Moo just a hair behind. Must have had a couple of small mistakes on the level. I couldn't quite pick them out, but...
He actually started slightly behind. I think it might have been a load time, or it might have been a map or something like that, but...
Could very well be.
I don't think it was play skill. He had a clean one as well, so...
Yeah, to note about the load times in this game, I think they do range like slightly, but it's not much at all. We found a lot of ways to make the load times consistent with how we practice a little bit on a different file before we'll do runs. We'll sit on the world map for about 25 seconds to 45 seconds, depending on preference, to kind of reduce the chance of that being a really bad load time. And also, surprisingly enough, Not So Newbie found out that if you play with gamepad, which all of us do now, your load times are just better.
Yeah. Wow. Cruncha. Really
Cruncha
nice.
going for that God hit and getting it. Wow.
Oh my gosh. So this is
That's
what, again,
fantastic.
we talked about Cruncha having so many individual level world records. Does he still have this one?
I would be shocked if anybody
I'm not
took
sure.
this, because there's a lot
Either way,
there's
either
RNG in this
way.
boss that you'll see right here with Cruncha. As these guys go down, the height they go to is completely variable. There's no way to control what they do, and they can go high enough. Like, as you can see on Mumu, he
got
can't hit
bad
any
luck
of them.
there. Oh, Cruncha missing a hit too.
Yeah, Cruncha
But
missing a hit.
He got it back though.
Yeah. He's still down a hard on Cranky, and you cannot lose Cranky here, but he's going to pick this one up right here for some safety.
Yeah, the
He's going to
RNG
let that guy go up
really-
and just bop this guy. Oh, he's going to be able to take the other guy down as well. But yeah, Mumu got some bad RNG there. That's going to cost him a bit of time relative to Cruncha, as well as Cruncha just going for that early hit. But I think he's the only one, like one of 3 people in the world that can actually do that, let alone go for it in a race like this.
Newbie, do you want to explain the basic idea for how you could, because people might be confused, like, how do we know if he's actually, like, killing these phases or not?
Yeah, as each monkey gets lighter in color, that's a stage that you want to bop them on, and then once one of the monkeys is gone, when they've hit their lightest phase, then you kill that one off, you move on to the next phase with only 2 left and then 1
Right.
left.
So you can waste a lot of time by trying to hit other baboons that you're not trying to really kill off. A lot of times we're just killing them because it's manipulating the pattern of the baboons to go to certain attack phases, to what we ideally want it to do, which is to, again, kill them off as quickly as possible. To note, this game's actually really good about RNG compared to, like, Donkey Kong Country Returns. There's very little RNG throughout it, and this boss is the biggest instance of it by far.
The only other one that really comes to mind is the final boss as well. And we got the Phil Mickelson from Moo Moo Akai. He's fell a little bit behind Cruncha.
Yeah, NK,
And
had
NK
good
right
RNG
there.
in this fight actually, so that
Yeah,
pulled him
NK
pretty
actually
close to
caught
Moo.
up due to Moo having bad RNG there. So, yeah, kind of making it a little more interesting here.
But still, in terms of play skill, all 3 players have really solid runs so far.
All 3 deathless, not to jinx anyone, but 3 deathless runs through 3 worlds. That's pretty darn good.
That's
So
totally fine.
going into World 4, I just want to say, I know Ghoul and I particularly, like, we're big fans of this world. You would think Water World, worst speed world in the game, right? I actually am a believer this is the best speed world in the entire game.
And I don't think it's even close.
Yeah, like the water levels, actually optimizing water levels and going fast with Diddy jetpacks, they're not only hard to optimize, they're incredibly fun and satisfying to do.
Yeah.
Just
And
like shooting through the water.
And on top of that, we were talking about how barrel cycles are 1 second. That time is actually doubled underwater. So any mistake that costs you a barrel cycle underwater is even more punishing than it would be out if you were doing it on land. So a bonk or a small mistake here or there all of a sudden translates to a 4-second time loss instead of the 2 or the 1 second you might get if you were doing this on land. And it's very easy to bonk when you're using the jetpack.
So it looks like Crunch is not going to go for the early Dixie cycle.
No, there's actually a second way of doing it if he follows the IL. We'll see if he
is
does
there?
it or not.
He might actually. Yeah.
There's a damage boost you can do. Doesn't look like he's going to go for... Oh, he's taking a
Oh, he
second
is
damage
going
boost.
for it.
So let's
might
see
make
if he
this-
catches this or not. It's going to be tight. He's going.
Oh,
He got
wow.
it. Oh, wow. That
Nice
was
Cruncher.
not a lot of extra time there. So there's a couple of different ways of getting that. But
yeah.
in general, any mistakes through that section and you will not catch that Dixie cycle. And Dixie is required to get to the next area.
Yeah, Mumu also makes the cycle.
Mumu makes the cycle, no problem. NK is
should
getting
have
right
it
there.
there.
Oh,
Yep.
man, he
Nice.
almost missed it as well. That was a bit scary.
Moo barely got it. Yikes. Yeah, Moo was by far the one who cut it the closest there. So,
Yeah.
we explained a little bit about Diddy. He's the best underwater. So you're probably like, why did we switch to Dixie? Ghoul, you're the president. Why did we switch to Dixie?
So basically, Dixie, you'll see Cruncher right here is getting to this current, and she's the only one that's supposed to be able to get through that. She's also the fastest one at getting through it. We did find out eventually that it is possible for Diddy to get through, but for the purposes of this level, it's faster to just switch to Dixie and fight these currents like this, using her instead of using Diddy. So there is an instance later on where you'll see Diddy can get through this, but I'll hold that until we actually get to it.
Right. It is 100% required that you have Diddy or Dixie there. So
now, if you miss that that Dixie cycle, you get Cranky, which would require you to suicide before doing that.
Right. So, yeah, good to see all the players avoiding that. We haven't really gotten into it, but up until a few months ago, like just before SGDQ, basically, we actually had a route in this game where we got enough coins, which are basically the currency in this game, in order to go to the shop in World 3 and buy a bunch of items. One of the items we normally bought there was we actually got, I guess it was a Diddy barrel. Yeah, we bought a Diddy barrel for that level so that we would actually start the level with the barrel. As soon as you don't have a Kong, Diddy would snap over to you, or whatever buddy barrel Kong you brought in, and you would then go through the level with that. So I'll get into that a little bit more here. Ghoul, I'm also going to let you explain about 4A.
Yeah, so it looks like they all got clean starts. This is my favorite level in the game for any percent, just because it's the only one where you see all three Kongs. Even though Dixie really doesn't get to show anything, you start with Dixie and you grab Diddy to get through that water section just a hair faster, which lets you just barely catch this Cranky cycle, and we use Cranky to get to the secret exit fastest. And most consistently. It is possible to get there with Solo DK, Diddy, or Dixie, but the setups for them are much more difficult and much harder. You'll see right here, Crunch is rolling across the water. He's going to go down, love tap this banana, Pogo, full Pogo, and into the secret exit. No issues,
it's
beautiful.
So beautiful looking.
That was good. Moomoo's turn.
Yeah, so now we got Moo and NK just a hair behind, so Moo, banana, Pogo, in, no issues. NK, same thing, banana, Pogo, beautiful.
Nice.
Dude, Ghoul is so good at play-by-play. This guy needs to be on Smash. It's so good. You're wasting your talents with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Anyways, moving on. Not to say we're wasting our time here. Moving on, the next level shit. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to take this opportunity. The next level is, like, legitimately, there's so many cool levels in World 4. What ends up working out by taking the secret exits in 4-1 and 4A, you actually end up not only going through faster levels, you actually cut a level completely.
And you cut half of 4-1 as well.
Right, yeah,
it's a level and a half, essentially, that you cut out by doing this. But unfortunately, this level is probably the worst level in the game for speedrunning.
Yeah, it's... I guess the one thing really to note about it, every time someone played this for the first time, they died. Just everyone drowned. You were looking around for keys. You couldn't find anything. And it made you go back and start looking for chests again. Obviously, from a speedrunning standpoint, once we know where everything is, then it's pretty damn simple. But as you see once again here, you're going to see all of them switching over to Diddy in the third room here. Again, Diddy's just better underwater. He's a lot faster. And they're going around getting keys. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Ghoul, I'm also going to hand it off to you to just explain a little bit about 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, the three levels we skip, and how kind of wish they were in the route, even if it is faster to go this way.
Right. 4-2 is by far the best auto-scroller in the game. We talked earlier about how on 1-4 you can gain 2 seconds by optimal play.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, on 4-2, it's actually it's like 4.5 seconds almost, versus what you would do playing casually. And on top of that, the music is fantastic. It's one of the best auto-scrollers I've ever seen in a video game.
I 100% agree with that.
It's flashy, there's stuff happening everywhere, it's just a lot of fun to see. The 4-3 is one of those shaded levels where you'd only see one of them at 90%, and it's 6-6.
6-6, we'll see it later.
But it's the underwater one, you see it's just very fast, there's a lot of fast movement, a lot of optimal water swimming. And then 4-4 is what I almost consider the true boss of World 4. That's Irate 8, where you're basically swimming with Diddy and trying to race this giant octopus whose only goal in life is to kill you. And they're just these fantastic, incredibly well-designed levels with great music, and they're great for speedrunning as well. Moo trying to get the shark skip, just missing it. To be fair, it doesn't cost anything to get hit by this, and you'll see all of them just take that hit because it's very easy. If you do get the shark skip, it does save a little bit of time. But all in all, it's really not a huge deal. That's pretty much the only real tuck to the end of this level. Everything else is pretty simple.
Yeah. Newbie, I think you were the one who actually found that.
It was totally by accident.
It was, oh no, that you got to know when to take credit for stuff. That was totally Yeah, it was pretty skills, whatever. All
It was
right,
at a
so
marathon too. That was great.
again, we're coming up here, and like all three racers are very close. I've seen a lot of weeklies stay close up until this level. This is what I consider, I think, along with Anke and maybe even other runners, as the hardest stretch in the game. As much, with all due respect to Michael Goldfish, I think this is the hardest stretch in the game. 4-5, 4-6, 4 boss, 5-1. Newbie, do you want to explain a little bit about C-Stack Attack?
Tons of difficult tricks, many really precise jumps and pogos, and then a pretty tough strat to get through a whole series of barrel shots a bit later. You're seeing it right here. They're going through as smooth as possible, so it looks really good still. But it's all quite difficult.
Ghoul, you can go ahead and give us some play.
I was going to say, you'll see Cruncher right here doing what we call the strong dong. You'll see he's going to pogo off that, go down below so he doesn't get hit by any of those. Now we're going to pogo off of these two, off that. He's going to go try to get this far right barrel, fire into that,
Nice,
off the tube banker, skips the quad knob entirely, moving on to the next section. Moo
Okay.
Say Moo Moo's blocking, so he's going to have to probably touch the quad knob. And NK taking the first death of the race.
Ooh,
Very weak
Cruncher
dong for NK.
grabs Dixie. Cruncher grab Dixie.
Oh
no.
Wow.
Oh,
That's gonna slow it down for
poor
Cruncher
guy, like
quite a
I
bit.
said, this level can cost a lot of time.
Wow.
Oh, and Moo taking an early hit. Is he gonna? Okay.
Wow.
Oh man, yeah, Moo getting through, getting crate skip and everything successfully, but oh my god, this is
That effectively, that's gonna catch Moo up.
that puts Moo almost in the lead. I would think, because the first Diddy barrel is not for a while. Cruncher gonna have to play suboptimally at the start of this next area.
Ooh, you could tell there also with NK when he was about to pick up that Diddy barrel, he hesitated for a second and then went for it. Wasn't sure where in the cycle he saw it. But yeah,
That
NK
level's definitely the
getting
game
through it.
changer.
So yeah, you'll see that Dixie is going to cost Cruncher a ton of time. You'll see he's going to try to mitigate it by doing this, what we call swim canceling, and usually it's only used with solo DK, but you can do it with Dixie as well to just cut out some of the animations between that. Man,
We'll see how much time Moo actually saves from
Yeah,
having
this
Diddy
is
start.
actually
He'll save
really
quite a bit.
interesting.
He should be able to save quite a
And
bit.
you
And catch
should
up
be
ahead.
able to see how much speed, how much time Diddy saves. It's also, it's not even just up until the first Diddy barrel. It's also the fact that Cruncher now, by default, can't have a perfect level. If you move through the level perfectly, then you can catch both Diddy barrel cycles, both in the middle point of the level and near the end. Oh, Moo loses Diddy.
Yeah.
Moo loses Diddy back there. Not good. All right. Like I said, this is why I agree. 4-5. I agree with myself. 4-5, 4-6, 4 boss, and 5-1. Hardest stretch in the run, IMO.
NK seem to have a good 4-6.
This is actually catching him right back
That
up.
can help him. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. This has been an interesting level so far. Moo's
NK with a
still
really good
pretty
start.
much catching up to Cruncha. Only a few seconds behind. Yeah, NK having a perfect 4-6 so far.
Yep,
Watch
perfect
this.
start. Watch NK's screen. He seems to be doing very well.
Yeah, NK is looking good through without losing Diddy. So you'll see right here, they just got to kind of wait for this section. But you'll see right here where taking a hit and losing Diddy might cost him
Cruncher's
time.
got to wait for this cycle, big time.
Yeah, that's almost a 3 or 4 second wait, it looked like.
Wow, Moo caught up.
Moo grabbing it
Put out the
immediately,
cycle?
that puts him right on pace.
That's pretty good. NK
Wow,
should
let's-
make his cycle as well, which means he'll effectively gain time on the other two.
Yeah, still, it's going to keep him a little bit behind, but still a great response by NK.
Yeah, that's a great that'll
Perfect 4-6
definitely
NK.
push him back to where he's going to gain some time here. Which after that death he's going to have to do in a couple places.
Yep.
So we talked about it. NK's game is that safety, deathless strat. Now that he's got that death and is a bit behind, he might have to play a bit riskier to catch up.
Yeah, right now I think it's not a big enough deal. It looks like it's going to be about a 20-second deficit for him behind Cruncha, maybe a little less. Yeah, it's about a 20-second deficit behind Cruncha and about a 15-second deficit behind Moo. So still keeping it close. Now, here comes a big one for boss. This used to be the reason why we went to the shop. For anyone who knows this boss casually or doesn't know, I guess, what you're intended to do is it's a really slow boss. He takes like 2.5 minutes to beat. You're supposed to just wait for him to expose his behind, and then you smack that. Well, with Cranky, for whatever reason, you can actually, because his
hitbox is always active. So by just using the Cranky Pogo underwater, you'll see how he just kind of swings it in front of him. You can hit his hitbox when you're not supposed to be able to. You'll see right here, Cruncha hits him again. No RNG there, though, so he's going to... Oh, Cruncha, what are you doing?
Cruncha lost Cranky.
Losing Cranky isn't the problem. Letting Fugu swim away like that, though, is a large time loss. Moo!
Wow, Moo with the same mistake.
Oh,
wow.
NK with the plays. Is NK taking the lead right here?
He's not going to take the lead, but he's going to gain a lot of time if he has a clean Fugu here.
Yeah.
Oh, NK also.
NK!
Wow. All three of them.
Oh, those are...
Uh-oh.
No.
Moo dies.
Moo dies. Oh, and is NK gonna die?
NK
is close.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. So Cruncha taking a healthy lead now.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage now.
Dude, I'm so right. This is the hardest part of the game. This is easy.
NK opting to
NK having to take a bit of a safe route there to make sure he doesn't die against Fugu and lose almost a minute.
Oh man. Moo followed far behind now.
Yeah, wow. And it is now Crunch's game.
This is Cruncha's game to lose at this point. Moo with a solid run up to that point. A very devastating death to Fugu, unfortunately. Having a pretty good second attempt at him so far. Might even be able to keep Cranky here if played well.
Yeah, the thing about that is that Fugu is a boss that, in general, you should never have issues with. On occasion, you'll get bad RNG. That wasn't bad RNG. I don't know if it was the pressure of the situation or what, but all three of them struggling with that very heavily. Cruncha almost losing Dixie there early.
Yeah,
that would have been
struggling with 5-1 too.
Yeah,
so this race is still anyone's.
It's kind of like, I don't know if that scared them a bit or is throwing them off or something, but you got
to know that a lot of people are watching right now. This is kind of your SGDQ pitch.
Yeah.
So this is maybe a little bit of a preview of what would end up being if it is a major marathon.
Yeah.
So as you saw back there, Cruncha unfortunately had to wait for Cranky. Ideally, through this level, you should move fast enough, whether you lost Cranky or not at Fugu. It doesn't matter.
Oh, we gotta get the hop from Cruncha. Oh, we got the hop from Cruncha. He didn't trust the moo strats.
Ooh, not trusting it. Little bit of jitters, I think, for all three of the runners right now.
Yeah, I think that Fugu seemed to scare them just a little bit.
That would scare me. So.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him or anything. That's.
We're just shitting on them. It's fine. So
yeah.
NK trusting the trolley, and it worked out.
Yeah, you'll see just how far behind Moo fell from that, though. Dying on Fugu is a pretty large loss.
Hit back there as well. That's definitely going to cost him. He's going to have to wait for the Cranky barrel as well. Again, as we talk about all the barrel cycles in this game, they're all on 1 second, or 3 second total cycles, 1 second per. So, waking one little mistake might seem like it's not that big of a deal. A lot of times in these sorts of levels, it costs you 3 full seconds. So, pretty punishing. To note, NKB actually has world record in this game, or world record in this individual level, in this whole game. I mean, he's still pretty good. He's like 4th. But yeah, he has world record in this individual level that they just finished up 5-1. A lot of it is going for an absolutely insane strat called the Omega King Zing. That, I don't know, I'd like to see someone go for it at some point. Maybe this game's going to get so optimized.
To note, the Omega King Zing you actually can't do inside of the IL, unfortunately. It is something you can do outside of it, in theory. But yeah, the King Zing is a strat where you bounce off of 2... oh no, that's not the King Zing. The Omega part of the King Zing is bouncing off of 2 spike balls instead of riding that one trolley. It's terrifying. I've gotten it a couple times in ILs. I would never go for it in a run. And even NK says the same thing. But, yeah, NK has the world record, although there is this Dixie strat that's almost as fast for the IL. So
yeah, Michael Goldfish, the current individual, or the current, now I say for him, the current single segment world record holder for this game, actually decided one day he was just going to try out Dixie. And I think that, and so he got second place with it. I think that's what kind of opened our eyes to, okay, we've been taking so many levels away from Dixie throughout this run. Let's go ahead and let her have a little bit back. So she got half a level back for her, so good for her.
all right. So right here, this is the auto scroller that I like to call Penguinji, after the Neon Genesis Evangelion character. I just laugh because of the guy riding the mech. It's actually really funny to watch. Like, all of his animations are just so adorable. You know, he's, you know, riding the mech, he's doing all this stuff, he's making faces at you while he's doing it. It's a pretty, it's an enjoyable Rocket Bear level for sure.
I would definitely agree with that. It's one of those where, you know, you don't end up getting to see it a lot in this run because we just skip over the other levels, but you're also getting a piece of this over-the-shoulder dynamic camera.
Cruncha is showing that right now, going through the grapefruits.
This was not a feature of Donkey Kong Country Returns. I think the only two levels where you see it in the any percent route are this and 1-1, where we were blasting, like, around the tree, shooting up through the barrels.
There's a little bit of it in 1-4 as well, I believe, but for the most part, yeah, it was kind of their way of trying to show off the Wii U's power a bit more than the Wii game. You know, you can see it in the artwork, and this game looks gorgeous in HD. Yeah. But it's a bit harder for them to show off in a 2D platformer. So this was kind of their way of saying, hey, we can do some really cool stuff with dynamic camera angles, especially during auto-scrollers or sections where you're blasting out of barrels and don't really need to be able to see left or right to judge distance as much. So you'll see Cruncha right there is just now exiting the level, so avoiding the auto-scroller death, which always nice.
Always nice to see. NK just a little bit behind him, maybe by about like 15 seconds or so. Mumu probably with about a 45-second deficit with that coming off of that Fugu death. So still trying to recover from that. It's still anyone's game, absolutely. There's still a lot.
The players are going into the two hardest worlds of the game now, I think. So I mean, it could still go either way.
Yeah.
A lot of really hard tricks coming up and difficult levels in general.
This is generally, we expect races to stay very, very, very close through World 4. World 5 is where you can start to see the differentiation in both the runners' playstyles and what's going to happen. So you'll see, more likely you'll see guys die, you'll see mistakes made. So, been a very clean race outside of Fugu so far. This is the set of worlds that will change that, though. So you'll see Cruncha actually has the individual world record for this level. He kind of pioneered the cranky strats through this level. Originally, this was another one of those Dixie levels, but finding the way to use cranky for the beginning and then switch to Dixie at the end turned out to be much faster, as well as quite a bit more fun, I have to say.
Yes, absolutely. This level, like, I wasn't crazy about this level until it was a cranky level, and now it's super, super fun. Also, we haven't talked about it at all, but David Wise is a god.
Yeah, David Wise, of course, being the composer for this, as well as the Donkey Kong Country 2. He did a couple songs for 3 and about half the soundtrack for 1. You know, they kind of, Nintendo called him up and said, hey, would you like to come back? Because one of the bigger complaints, I think, with Returns was that the soundtrack was a lot of remixes and very little good original music outside of maybe the Rocket Barrel theme.
Sure.
But yeah.
Which people just have bad memories of playing those levels, so yeah.
So, bringing back David Wise and really improving that aspect of the game for sure.
Mumu with a little slip up there, he's going to have to grab the cranky to refill his heart. He took an early hit.
Yeah.
Because this part here, well, he didn't actually take a hit.
Yeah, he didn't take a hit. It's really kind of a difficult jump to go over that drill, as well as going through that knife. It's just very tricky. You don't expect to get it every time.
Coming at the end section for NK here, him and Cruncha both had really good 5-3s, so that was good.
Very solid. Right here, 5-4 is another one of those levels. We can see some really big differentiation in time coming out of if a runner makes a big mistake. All the runners are going to want to take the secret exit here. Because the next level is much faster. If you go to 5B instead of 5-5, it's much faster. However, to do that, they're going to have to keep either Diddy or Dixie the whole way through. And the preferred Kong here is Diddy, even though the reason you need him is to get through this jet current at the end. So if you take 2 hits after getting that first barrel, they're going to have to take what we call a jamboree, where they go to 5-5 instead.
I feel like Cruncha might keep Dixie here because he's done that in the past.
I think that's his general strategy, honestly, for this level.
Wow,
so.
Which is slightly slower, which could actually...
Yeah, he's going Dixie.
Yeah, he's keeping Dixie. So that'll help NK and Mumu both
Yeah, they can gain some time here if they go for it. Because again, there's a lot of underwater sections in this level, even outside of the current you go through. So using Diddy is slightly better. So that said, Cruncha might know he's in the lead. He might say, "I've got just enough where I can keep this up."
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So you see right there, NK waiting just a little bit to get the Diddy cycle. So.
Yeah, waiting for that Diddy cycle does cut into Diddy's lead over Dixie in this level.
You'll see he fell in the water right there, missed landing on the outside of that ledge. It's a bit of a tight jump, but Cruncha might have something here. So you'll see Cruncha now is going underwater. This is where using Diddy would have saved a lot of time.
The Dixie's much slower underwater.
Yeah, it's a lot slower and actually a bit more difficult as well. We didn't really mention it, but Diddy's jetpack also is very good at getting you away from spikes and trouble at any given moment. So
yeah, and you can see back there are instances where Cruncha will actually elect to switch to Dixie's like hair flutter or whatever you want to call underwater. And because that's actually, it makes your hitbox, so it's not so much that makes your hitbox smaller, so much as spinning makes your hitbox bigger underwater. You'll notice with underwater hitboxes, they seem really janky in this game, and that's just because they are.
Yeah, it basically follows your Kong all the way from the tip of his nose to the toes of his feet, but you even curve as you turn. So you can get some very, very weird hits sometimes underwater. Cruncha making this level look easy. NK taking no hits as well through the spike section.
Very nice for NK, yeah.
Yeah, he should be able to avoid the Jamboree. Mumu taking no early hits, so I'm expecting him to be fine as well, as long as he does.
Strat to get through the current without Dixie.
Yeah, you'll see right there, he's doing.
Yep.
It's a jetpack and then a very quick switch to a push or the breaststroke, and then right back to the jetpack. I will point out when Mumu gets there so that you guys can see it again. It's pretty cool though. It's not intended. That was not supposed to be something that you could do.
Forgot who was it that found that.
I believe that was NKB that actually found it very early on. We didn't really think it was that useful because we didn't realize how fast it was until Michael Goldfish played with it a bit once we found out about the setup for Fugu.
Now going here into 5B, I think you're also going to see a difference of some strats here. I'm not sure if Cruncha actually just sticks to using Dixie all the way.
I believe he uses Dixie all the way through, but he will switch to Cranky at the beginning of 5-6, is I believe his route.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see right there he did skip Cranky. Oh, he took the hit. Oh, he's going back.
He's going for the barrel back.
Yeah, he's gonna take the time loss.
Okay.
He's gonna take a big loss for that, but
yeah.
And he probably knows he's up by a little bit, so no need to panic.
Yeah, so you see he's also waiting. So we know if you wait as that target as it goes up, if you catch the very top of it, you can just blast through this section and fall down the shaft coming up right here without any issues. So
it ends up making for like a 6-second cycle. How long is the cycle? I forget.
I believe it is 6 seconds. NK also keeping Diddy, who he came in with, not switching over to Cranky, as is the new optimal route.
Mumu will be switching to Cranky.
Yeah, Mumu will be switching to Cranky halfway through this, just because it's going to save him a barrel switch at the beginning of 6-6.
Watch Mumu's stream. He does this level super cleanly.
Oh, yeah, please watch Mumu. This is amazing.
It's amazing to watch, yeah.
So you'll see right there, he's going to bop off the fish, off the thing, or the toucan, and just keep on rolling through. So again, this is another one of those levels with universal cycles to the music. So we know at a certain point everything's going to happen. See right there, he's going to grab Cranky. And he's going to have to do the rest of the level without Cranky. Ooh, the hit!
Ooh, he took a hit. He's going to have to wait on the cycle, I think.
Yeah, he's going to wait. That's surprisingly large. Oh, I thought he was going to take a hit there as well.
No, he set up the cycle again. He's going to lose 6 seconds overall, but... Oh, he's going to be really safe there.
Oh, he takes the hit anyway.
Didn't pay off for him, yeah.
Yeah, so the better Mumu strat's not paying off here. He's going to lose some time on this stage relative... Well, maybe not relative to Cruncha, because Cruncha also made a large mistake. Oh, that's a hit right there. Mumu down to 1 heart. To note, this owl bop at the end here is kind of finicky. Oh, he's taking the safety heart.
Again, like we were saying, NK's got the consistency on the slightly slower strats.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna want to watch Cruncha here. This is one of my favorite levels. This is when we're introduced to ice physics. So you're gonna see lots of using those pushes to do momentum boost. Cruncha doing the beginning setup perfectly, no issues. So yeah, the ice physics in this game kind of allow you to keep those momentum boosts much easier than normally. You had to get something that was swinging. This is the first point where you can really do other things, like you get small boosts from going down hills or getting pushed by anything. So, Cruncha doing a pretty solid 5-6 so far.
Yep, really good for Cruncha.
Yeah, you do want to keep Cranky through this because it makes the ending much easier as well as
the
saving
setup.
time on the boss.
Here we go.
Yep, the setup.
Nice Cruncha with a solid setup.
So you'll see Moo Moo right here getting the switch. Oh, wow, he's going to lose some time on the switch as well. Doing the Cranky strats through. NK with the setup as well. Oh, he held up a little bit for the setup, but...
Still pretty clean.
Yeah, still very clean. Still just a little bit behind.
Yeah, NK keeping it very close here. Looks like only about a 10-second deficit behind Cruncha. So definitely caught into the lead there on Cruncha after that 5B, where Cruncha had to go back. Again, Cruncha's still with a decent lead, but you know, you got all of World 6 left. There's a ton that can happen. Not to mention, you know, I'm jumping ahead here. I'm looking ahead to World 6. But World 5 boss, you know, out after the RNG that is 3 boss, this is probably the next worst part of RNG in the game. Newbie, do you want to explain a little bit about Coca-Cola Bear?
Yeah. Just like every other boss, he's got 3 phases where you need to make 3 hits on him. There's a little bit of RNG, yeah, as Spike said. The number of blocks he'll drop until a bomb, the number of jumps he'll do, all these small things add up to a lot of big time here. You see Crunch is going to get a bomb on the 3rd block. You can also get one on the 4th block, but the 3rd block's a bit quicker. So he did that.
It's better RNG because after 4 blocks fall down, he'll start going into another attack animation, which, as you see here, is this little hammer throw. If you hit him with the bomb before he starts doing that, then he'll never actually start up that animation, and then he'll start it on the next time he comes down, as opposed to jumping up in the air and pouncing 3 times, which saves about 20 seconds, actually. It's pretty big. So, another little, I know it sounds stupid, but random piece of RNG in this boss fight is that in this second phase, between the 4th and 5th, and then 5th and 6th hits, he can jump either 2 or 3 times. Now, he's guaranteed he's going to jump 3 times on one of them, but it's random whether on the other time he jumps 2 or 3 times. Might not seem like a big deal, but it can cost 4 seconds itself. So, you can either get 5 or 6 total jumps. So, again, like, Retro Studios did a great job with making a very speedrunnable game. It very much wants to be speedran, but there's some little pieces of RNG which can be frustrating, especially considering this is such a high individual level time attack type game where it encourages you to go fast. So we haven't gotten into it too much. Newbie, Ghoul, do one of you guys want to describe just a little bit about the individual levels of the time attacks in this game?
Yeah, so basically once you beat a level, it unlocks the time trial for that particular level. And the cool thing about it is you always start out with solo DK, and you get to pick what the Kong barrels in it are. If you want a rotating barrel, you want them to all be Diddy, all be Dixie, or all be Cranky. But the coolest thing about it is that it actually saves everybody's video replays and puts them online. So at any given point, you can go up and see, what's the fastest anybody's ever done, for example, 5 boss? And you can see, okay, the world record is this time, and you can actually watch exactly what he did at any given point. It's really, really cool. It also helped us really hammer out the root for this game very quickly, relative to other similar platformers. Just because at any given point, we could see how to get through the level as fast as anybody knew how to do it.
Right, there wasn't this mystery of, oh, how did the world record do? Oh, okay, we can see right there.
Yeah.
So
it also helps. It's also a nice amalgamation of all the best strats. You can always look, and things update all the time. You can see new strats that appear out of nowhere, things like that, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah. And all you need is a copy of the game and a Wii U to see them. So
that's it.
Also, shouts to Moo Moo for doing make Bashmaster look bad strats.
Yeah, since this hammer is considered a spike hitbox, Cranky can just pogo off it indefinitely. Cruncha getting through the boss, no issues. NK right here, falling right behind. Moo Moo's still, about 45 seconds to a minute behind.
I'll say NK and Cruncha had 2. After the 5-1 was a little sloppy, but after that they both had, I think, very, very solid. Oh, Cruncha had the 5B mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, still pretty solid through World 5. Now, World 6. All right.
So Spike, why don't you tell us a bit about 6-1?
Oh, it's the worst level in the entire game. I hate this level so much. It is the most punishing level in the entire game. In that, like, not necessarily from a time standpoint, but that one buddy barrel, they give you that right at the start, and after that, there's no Buddy Kong barrels.
So you'll see right there, Cruncha triggered the checkpoint, so now if he dies, he has to do the rest of his level solo Cranky, and this is not a solo DK. This is not a solo DK level. There's just so many things that are incredibly difficult. On top of that, it messes with cycles in later levels when you have to grab a barrel at the start of them. So any mistake here is huge. Like, you'll see Cruncha even pioneered a strat that he's not going for in this race. Just because making any death here is just horrible.
Which, again, creates an interesting dynamic in this race. Okay, Cruncha, maybe NK as well, will kind of play it safe here on a couple of strats in 6-1.
Yeah,
maybe Mumu's going to go for it.
Like, I almost wonder, there's no way he goes for Slamma, is there?
No, I don't think he does. That's a little too risky.
Banana Slamma is a really dumb strat. Ghoul actually found it. It saves like 0.2 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. To explain it, it's essentially on this very first barrel shot you have coming up here. You can...
If you fire early, you can hit off the top of the wall and then hit that walrus and go all the way to the right side. But we think it's frame perfect, if not very close. So
right.
Mumu playing it a bit safe there, but he probably will go for a couple strats that you might not have seen NK and Cruncha go for.
Do we even call that playing safe? That's like not being an idiot.
Yeah, that's playing not stupid, I guess, is probably the better way.
That's one of those, you saw Goldfish go for
Mumu,
it.
nice.
Yeah, Mumu went for the under the Crunch wedge drop, no problem. Moving through, a little bit slow on the bottom section.
Stealing Crunch's strats, yeah.
Yeah, so Cruncher right here is doing, this is one of the harder levels to learn as well. It's a really fun one to just IL, but any early hits here are pretty dangerous because you do not want to lose Cranky at all on this. There's like 20 seconds of auto scroller in this that is very difficult to skip with solo DK. So, see right there, he's kind of playing it very safe, not even taking damage boosts in places that might save a bit of time.
We have seen a lot of weeklies been lost to this level alone, so
you'll see right here, Cruncha skipping the section right here by poking off these owls. No issues at all. And, yep, beautiful by Cruncha, no problem.
Good block by Cruncha. Yeah. So now we'll
NK took the damage boost, so NK needs to avoid taking the hit.
Going a little, yeah, he's going strong here.
Yeah, so you'll see right here, he's going up. Off the owl, yeah, he's got it set up, he's good. Now, that said, let's see if he avoids that little fire hoots right there. It's a bit scary.
That can deal his last hit, but he didn't take it, so that was good. NK with a slightly better 6-2 than Cruncha.
Yeah.
Only because he took the damage.
I would say he cut into that lead by a little bit. So, very good response here by NK.
Yeah, Mumu's going through it as well. We'll see how he does. In the meantime, we got Cruncha now moving on to 6-3. I don't know, what do you guys think of this level?
Okay, so this is one of those levels, it almost gets more talk if you lost. This level's not too bad, honestly, with Cranky. If you lost Cranky in 6-2, which is very possible to do, you can see with all the damage boosting, all the possibilities.
Oh! Mumu making it, though! Oh my god! And Cruncha dying!
Oh my gosh, no way.
No,
all of a sudden...
Everything was going fine, and then everything went bad at once.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, NK didn't take the lead yet, but he's got an advantage now. He's got Cranky.
Yeah, having Cranky here will actually put him in the lead by the end of this level, I think.
It very well could. Cruncha has to take it slower.
Oh, you guys were... I was looking at Mumu. Mumu lost Cranky near the end of 6-2.
Cruncha took a death.
The boat.
Yeah.
Wow.
All of a sudden, Cruncha has to take the Diddy of Shame barrel.
You'll see NK, look at all the time he's making on Cruncha in this level now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, he's going to take the lead. He legitimately is taking the lead here.
Yeah.
Because Cruncha's going to have to go underneath because, again, Diddy's bad.
So, yeah, right here. Diddy has no way of getting the height to go over the grass. He's got to take the barrel over there. NK taking the pogo up. He takes the lead.
by a few frames, and
Oh,
he's in by a second.
who would
now.
have thought this, dude? Oh my gosh.
What were you just saying about this level being easier with Cranky, almost boring in a way?
Oh, what is Cruncher doing? Making me look
man.
bad, dude. Oh my. NK takes the lead by 1 second on our stream. This is absolutely nuts, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
man.
That's super.
And
exciting.
not much better for Moo. Again, lost Cranky at the very end of 6-2.
Yeah,
Had
that's
to pull up the
he's
boat,
got to take
losing
the
a
Diddy of
lot of
shame
time.
as well. So that time save for NK is real as he moves into 6-4, which is our final auto scroller.
I like to also go ahead and note that NKB is actually, not to try to play up the SGDQ pitch even more, but we'll go ahead and play it up. NKB is actually a native of Minnesota. So, kind of a hometown boy in a way, playing for all the marbles right now. We'll see if he's able to hold on to this lead. There's quite a bit of game
Oh
left.
man, we got the load in on the exact same frame. We got the bananas at the same time. This is beautiful.
Wow, dude.
Cruncher has to pick up the cranky barrel.
Cruncher does have to pick up the cranky barrel.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, that puts NK back with a 1 second lead.
This has become a lot closer than it was. A couple
Neither of
levels
them going for the swag damage here, so we're not seeing a Michael Goldfish here.
Now,
Cruncher
they
going for
know
combo
how
wars, I
close
hope.
They know this is.
We
Yeah.
normally in our weeklies are in a Skype call with one another, so we always know how close our races are. Again, this might seem crazy, but again, I'm kind of playing it up for SGDQ just a little bit, but yeah, these races are commonly this close. The weeklies, there's been a few turds here and there, but many of them have been this close. So, exciting to see this kind of display for the pitch.
Yeah.
Now we see Mumu loading in 6-4 right now, still about a minute deficit behind NKB and Cruncha. NK or Cruncha is going to have a bigger time loss to let Mumu back into this. The one
Yeah,
thing
there's
we can
gonna have
say
to be
is
a death of some kind, I think, to get Mumu a chance. But
now the one thing I'll say about this is Mumu is once again he's going to go for everything. You know he is. And that includes going for all the 6-5 strats.
yeah, this
In a lot of ways, that is his level.
yeah,
So.
6-5 is the Mumu level.
Mm-hmm.
That said,
Probably the
we
most
also have
difficult level.
6 boss, which is the NK level coming up.
That is true. And we have 6-7, which, you know,
This is the crunch level.
is the Cruncha level, but probably won't see.
I don't think we'll see that out of him, but he is very familiar with either the Diddy route or the Cranky route if he decides to go for it. Or the Dixie route, sorry.
Yeah, 6-5 used to be a Dixie level for so long, and it's become a cranky level since then, and tons of momentum boosts you can do in that level. And Mumu does all of the most insane things, and the other two I don't think are going to go for the really, really difficult
Crunch is
things.
showing off some new tech before the race. It'll be interesting to see if he actually breaks that out now.
That's true. We did see him.
But you'll see right here, they're inside of the snowball, moving on down. This actually is kind of funny. I believe a lot of people... We always make fun of... I think the world record holder... I know Spike has died. I'm not sure if Mumu has. They've all died on this section.
Crunch has died on world record pace on this section.
All you have to do is jump when you need to. It's
Yeah.
real.
Kind of funny, but
Yeah.
Many
with
at
a
the top.
slight lead, a couple seconds ahead of Cruncha. We'll see how 6-5 goes. It's probably also one of the harder levels in the run.
It's once again, though, you've got this dynamic where Mumu's going to go for everything, NK is going to be safe with everything, and Cruncha's going to be somewhere in the middle. So, with the race being this close between NK and Cruncha, you know, does Cruncha go for a few more strats than NK to tie this up? Is he going to kind of tighten up because he knows how close the race is and he doesn't want to fall behind and give it to NK? This is going to be a very interesting level to watch. We're going to hand it over to Ghoul and let him do play-by-play.
Yeah, I'm going to take the play-by-play. I'm going to go on Crunch's. So if you're going to follow Cruncha right here, I think he's probably going to go for slightly more optimal strats. It's going to be a pretty interesting watch. This level is just tech everywhere. This is one of the hardest levels to get good at. I love watching this level. So you're going to see right here, we're going to load in. We're going to keep Cranky through this level. So we're going to start off. We're going to pound up, roll on through, and we're going to get to this first flower right here. Now this is where things start getting insane. We're going to bounce up. Using this gives us some extra speed. So we're going to roll off that, off the snowflake, and we're going to sit on this. We're going to ride this all the way through. Crunch up Pogo off of the
That's the lead.
snowflake. That saved enough time to put him on par with NK. Looking at this, so right here, Cruncha opting not to load in the vine a little early by hanging on the right side.
Tightening up just a little bit.
Now he's gonna Pogo off the owl, off the snowflake, off the ground, off the flower. Grabs on. He's going to wait right here. He's going to fire a bit early. Off the snowflake. Off the walrus. Oh! Just missing. NK takes the lead.
Oh! I can't tell if Cruncher was trying to play it safe there or what.
Cruncher did not realize he didn't have it. Tried to hold up. Could not do it. That said, that is a less punching death than an early one in this level, but still.
That's one of the hardest bounces to get.
Ooh, and Cruncher also being a little sloppy here, trying to get back in, trying to find his bearings.
Oh, sad pause, another death. Moo might catch up here.
Now watch Moo stream. He's going to show you a little different how to play through this level.
Yeah, Moo going through with the full boost all the way through. Oh no, the death.
He went for the.
He knew he had to do it. He knew he had to get the full boost.
Pulling out the big time. Would have caught up with Cruncher almost if he doesn't miss that.
Yeah, now he's gonna have to do the very slow ride through.
This is the worst place to die in this level. NK with a commanding lead now in this race. Cruncher with another death back there. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. So Cruncher with a bit of a death cycle on 6-5.
I just had this last night. I know how it feels.
So again, off it. He's just gonna.
No.
Oh my goodness.
He's going for the boost still. He can't.
I'm surprised he's not holding up a bit and just taking it easy, grabbing the grasp. But
I mean, during the practice before, he got it about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he got it consecutive. I didn't see him mess it up once.
I don't at all blame him for trying to go for it.
Yeah.
Just Moo there.
Moo, oh my god, Moo, what are you doing?
Oh,
Moo, please.
These two, strats.
Oh my gosh, what are they doing?
NK moving on to 6-6 with a commanding lead now.
NK's got no problems now. And
it looks like amazing race right now for second place.
Can't pull it together
as well. What is happening, man?
I have no idea. So to note, moving on to NK. Moving through. This is one of those silhouette levels. It's also one of the few Dixie levels remaining in the route.
Oh boy,
man,
these two can't pull together. Cruncher's going really slow now. He's just gonna go to try and beat the level.
Gosh, I can't even tell what's happening with Cruncher right now.
I've never heard those signs.
I don't know if he's screwing around because he lost the race. What is
can't pull together that boost. Still.
Man, Moo.
I'd like to once again say I don't like this second boost. I don't think it's worth it. Anyways.
It's incredibly risky. It saves a good amount of time. You save an entire
2 seconds. It saves
2 seconds would have been the difference between you and second place.
Oh man, Moo still going for it. Can't quite nail it though.
NK not firing the barrel early on 6-6, so he's good. He's moving on to 6-7. Cruncher finally finding a way through.
I think Cruncher sucked it up and went for just very slow strats. Just beat the level at this point.
Oh, wow.
You have to, at a certain point, just say it's not worth it.
Moo just...
At this point, Moo's just he's just gonna do it till he gets it, I think. He's frustrated with himself, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of frustration coming out now. He knew he had a chance.
And he knows he's good at it, but sometimes the pressure gets...
The pressure is...
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a mental game as well.
I had trouble not with this boost right here we kind of start up a bi-weekly, and this is, in my opinion, like the worst stretch of the game is this little middle part of 6-5 of any level in the game.
Moo finally getting through.
You just get to a point where you're just like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this have power over me. I'm going to do it until I get it. Whatever. We've lost the race. Let's go for it till we get it.
Yeah, Moo optimizing the end of his level there, finally getting through.
Yeah. Man, so we have clear separation now for first, second, and third.
Very clear separation. It's going to take
a pretty
major mistakes, specifically on the final boss, to really allow any of the other runners to get into this.
Yeah, so this is another one of those levels that's very difficult to learn. This is one of those levels we have a couple of backup strats just in case, especially when you're new at this game.
To note, Ghoul's talking about watch NK stream for 6-7.
Yeah, NK stream for 6-7. This is one of those levels that you don't expect. I would not expect him to make a mistake here. As unfortunate as that is for a race, but there are some backup strats. He did not do the compow, even though he knows he's in the lead. So still trying to put on a good show.
There's a damage boost coming up that when you compow, Dixie gives you extra hearts from enemies, which is a special ability of Dixie. And he's not doing it. He's just going to take the damage here.
Yeah, take the damage. No issues, looking good. It looks like he'll be moving on to 6-8 with no major issues.
Yeah, again, NK, like, before the race, too, he was saying he was not feeling great about it, but turns out to be pretty good for him. He's very consistent.
Crutcha just now finishing up 6-6.
6.
So
They're practically frame tied, just in different levels.
yeah. So that means it's, let's see, it's about a minute IL. So yeah, they're
It's about a minute and a half-ish, I think.
Yeah, it's like a minute 15. It's a minute. It's a minute and a half. It's a minute 15. Like it doesn't matter. But yeah, about a minute 15-second deficit. Like easily still could. If Cruncha had kept it to 1 death there, this would still be a really close race. But still, amazing job by all 3 runners to keep the race as close as it was for the first 6.5 levels. And you know what? 6-5 can do that to you. I had that happened to me a couple nights ago in the bi-weekly. The Tuesday night part of the weekly. You know,
no, it's no shame to have a mistake like that on 6-5. It's a very difficult level.
Yeah.
So NK right now doing 6-8, which is the last of those Ramby levels. Let's see how optimized he goes for here. This level's kind of known for being really janky. There's a lot of stop and go, which on Ramby with all that extra weight and momentum can be a bit tricky sometimes. So, oh wow, that was a bit scary right there.
Yeah, he goes slightly safer than both
Yeah.
Moo and Cruncha and Goldfish. I think all 3 of them go for Cruncha and Goldfish specifically have passed world record back and forth from 6-8 for quite a while.
I know that Goldfish was kind of priding himself on being the king of Ramby for a bit there.
Oh, Cruncha not able to hold it in 6-7 there.
Man,
A short flutter
Ooh.
doesn't make it up to the platform.
and that's a lot. There's no, there are no buddy barrels now.
Time lost. Yeah.
So he's got to play through the rest of this level, and to be honest, this is a level that we're not used to dying on, so he might struggle a bit to keep going through that now.
I've actually death cycled on this level.
Oh, there we go.
Because you're just not
Speaking of,
This is going to give Moo the ability to catch up and actually take
slipping
second
back
place.
into this for second place all of a sudden.
Cruncha, you can see the frustration in the ground pound right there.
Ground pounding. Yeah, you don't need to hear him.
Our rage in the community is huge.
Yeah. So see right here, let's make sure NK doesn't fire a bit too early here, as has been known to happen in races. He is waiting. He knew. Yeah, Cruncha. Oh man.
You know, for Cruncha being ahead this entire race, pretty much for at least
this
5
World
worlds.
6 has been so rough
been
for
taking
him.
a toll
This
on him.
has, and you know, again, I think of it a little bit of the rust here for him.
Yeah.
I think if he does this at SGDQ, I think his performance is a lot cleaner.
Most definitely. There's no way this happens at SGDQ.
Yeah,
It's just an unfortunate. Sure. It's just unfortunate to see this.
The 6-5 death, I think, definitely took hold of him.
Yeah, I think he's just thrown off a little bit. Like we saw a lot of nerves come out, especially after the Fugu death. I think we're seeing that on a much more extreme scale right now.
Yeah, Cruncha taking it very slowly, but he's going to finish the level.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal. You can see like he had to wait for this anyway a little bit because he did not want to do the damage boost through that. So we have NK loading into the final boss. Moo taking the lead on his way to 6-8 now. Cruncha right behind him though.
Yeah. I mean, it's now a race for second place. It looks like the 2 are actually a little bit closer.
Yeah, this is very close for second place.
They're both on the loading screen at the same time, which is something.
All right.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to, let's go ahead and have Ghoul actually explain a little bit about NK and his relationship with the final boss.
NK is by far the best in the world. If it was very close going into this, I would actually take NK as the favorite. You'll see right there, going for that early throw and nailing it. He's about the only person in the community that's really consistent with those. You very rarely see him miss those. Those save a lot of time. Even if you miss them, you can get him to get out of that jumping animation into the teeter-totter, and that's actually much faster as well. So, that said, this boss does have a lot of RNG in it. Right here, he's going to do a certain number of jumps. You got 1 jump. We got 1 more. We're not getting a 3rd, though. It's just a 2-hopper.
That's obviously faster than him jumping 3 times.
That said, a death on the final boss could potentially bring Cruncha and Moo back into this.
It's known to happen.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Yeah, I've done it myself. It can happen.
So, you'll see right here, now all these platforms now have ice physics, which they didn't have early, which makes it a bit trickier, especially for lining up those jumps as Frederick runs across. We'll see if he goes for the early throw in the second cycle. It's not... Yeah, he did go for it. A lot of us
Yeah,
don't
it's
go
much
for that
harder.
because it's a bit harder to get. And you'll notice that the spawn pattern for the penguins is they're a lot farther on the edges in that second phase. I'm surprised he went for that, but here we go. So right here,
Oh no, Crunch.
you got
Crunch is not
4 for 4,
do it.
5 for 5, 6 for 6.
A missed hit for NK can also waste a fair amount of time. Looks
Yeah.
like he doesn't have the most punishing cycle to miss a hit on, though.
Yeah, he's looking pretty safe. Right here, there is some RNG on this. Yeah, he's not getting the ideal RNG here. Uh-oh.
That was
Oh,
kind
man.
of close.
Yeah, he's a little bit scary there.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, okay.
Jump, NK,
Maybe
jump!
swagging out just a little bit, knowing he's got the big lead. Knowing, honestly, at this point, he could die and still afford to take the race. Obviously doesn't want to die, though.
Yeah, he definitely wants this as much as anybody.
Yeah, again, kind of the hometown boy for SGDQ. Would love to see this game get it back into SGDQ and have his opportunity at it. Consistency, cutting through. I think NK only had the 4-5 death out of all of it. So
The 4-5 death and the Fugu swap were the main things I think. There's that teeter-totter animation I was talking about that makes it much easier to hit him. So one early throw and a teeter-totter does make this easy. Here we go. We got time coming up here in just a little bit.
Ooh, almost missed the second hit. All right.
We have a
Thanks,
133.48 for NK. That's a very good
very,
time.
very good time.
Super good.
Easily cuts the AGDQ by almost a solid 2 minutes. So yeah, that was a unbelievable. Like, if it isn't for Goldfish's race in the run in the showcase race, that is an unbelievably good time. NK should be very, very proud of that.
Yeah, that is an incredible run for this. So,
I don't know if do we want to unsplit to kind of emulate what they would do for GDQs. They usually wait until all 3 runners are done.
alright, yeah, I'll unsplit right before the end. So, but yeah, congratulations to NKB pulling out that win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coming from behind on Cruncha in the final world, though. So right here.
Coming up, so to talk about, it is, like, it might seem like Moomoo's
Oh,
up by
oops,
quite
I
a bit
accidentally
here,
reset
but
instead of unsplit.
Moomoo's, yeah. Oh, whoops. It doesn't matter. Moo, if he misses one of these first 6 hits, also, and he misses an early throw, actually.
Yeah, but did not lose the full cycle, though.
Yeah.
So, he's okay.
If he misses one of these first 6 hits, Cruncha all of a sudden jumps right back into this for second place.
Yeah, the first cycle is not usually the one you'll see. The second cycle is a bit scarier because that is when the timing starts to change. And you do have those ice physics as well.
Yeah, so if Moo makes any mistake, this is Crunch's opportunity to catch back up and snag second.
As we call scoops.
Yeah. Having some issues with Crunch's stream right now. I'll see if...
No, it's...
Yeah, a little choppy to say the least.
Yeah, there we go. I reloaded it. We're all
should be
good.
back up. Yeah.
So, Moo now going for that second phase. Cruncha getting that first set of hits in. Yeah, any mistake now by Moo will put Cruncha very close to, if not in the lead. Missing that early throw does not lose the full cycle, though, so he's okay. If you don't lose the full cycle, it does not hurt to go for that early throw. So right here, there's a... He's 4 for 4, 5 for 5,
3 for 3.
and 6 for 6. So looking
Those
good.
are big. If he misses any of those, then Cruncha pretty much takes the lead. Or
Right.
at least ties it up with him. So Cruncha gonna have to hope for.
We got the
like,
Piss Your Pants RNG from Moo. Even the RNG liking him a bit right now.
Ooh, wanting him to take that second place trophy. Did we talk much about Piss Your Pants RNG?
I don't believe we did. When those platforms are shot up like that, they can fall in several different patterns. What we call Piss Your Pants RNG is when they fall from left to right like that. And that actually saves 4 or 5 seconds, I believe, over any other pattern. So
Moo took a hit. That's a little bit scary.
it's a bit scary, but it's not a huge deal because
It's not a
really
huge deal,
Cranky
but-
isn't needed for this fight at all. You could do this just as fast with solo DK.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to get thrown off, I don't think.
Yeah, I do agree with that. At any point in this, Crunch's setups are a bit weird for...
I think they're
some of
actually
these
kind of
picks.
similar to what I do. We're a little janky. So.
Yeah. Cruncha
Yeah,
also
Cruncha
getting the Piss Your
66.
Pants RNG.
Moo
Moo. Last hit right there.
Nice.
Moo is done. Final time of a 1:37.09.
Very solid performance by Mumu.
Yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of with that. Not quite the SGDQ pace, but really outside of that.
I mean, it was 6.5 for both.
Yeah, it was
of these
6.5.
runners. 6.5 is the bane of many runners' existence. So I guarantee you, both these runners feel like, please let me into SGDQ. I will grind 6.5 until my eyes bleed, but just give me that opportunity.
Yeah, Cruncha getting that teeter-totter animation as well right there, even though he does miss the early throw. Here are his last 3 hits. Let's see if he can at least finish on a good, solid note. There's 1. There's 2. Oh, taking the hit! He's going to have to do the, avoid the horn right here. This is what we were talking about, mistakes on this final boss. He's going to get another instance of the falling platforms. You'll see right here, as opposed to that left to right sweep it did earlier, they're going to fall 1 by 1 now. So it's a pretty significant difference. Now we're going to get the horn.
I think
so
it's
the one nice thing about that, though, is there are no longer ice
That's
physics,
fair.
so he's got much easier time setting up for those hits. Still needs 2 to finish the boss fight off.
All right.
There we go.
That's done too. There we go.
A 138.31.
All sub 139.
Yep, still very solid. I know in my AOD run, I ended up having like a 140 on the dot, so... You know, a lot can go wrong in this game, and you know, they're overall both Mumu and Crunch's times, they became a little bloated after what happened in 6.5, but each of them lost easily 2 minutes there in 6.5. Cruncha losing probably another solid 1.5 to 2 minutes to 6.7. So, you know, you take out the travesty that was both of those.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, NK? Congrats on the win, sir. Both of those levels.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, NK? Yeah, congrats on the win, sir.
One second, guys. Don't say anything.
Hey.
I need to mute Crunches. 1 second, guys. Don't say anything. I need to mute Crunches. Okay. You guys are good. Sorry about that.
All right, guys. So I don't know if were you guys in a Skype call the whole time?
We were not.
Okay. I just want you guys to know that, like, up until 6.5, that was an incredible race.
That was very good.
Yep,
watch,
that's
for
what I'm
sure.
thinking too. If this
That's
doesn't get
fantastic.
into
I know
SGDQ with
it
that
got
kind
a
of
little
race,
bloated near the end, but it was an incredible. That's one of the best Tropical Freeze races I've ever seen.
definitely.
Yep. For almost the entire run, it was back and forth a little bit, but not by too much, and it was close. Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they
that death of mine killed PB for me. That's all that went wrong.
Yeah, that was a
Frank had a
very
good
clean
run.
run.
all 3 of you should feel bad for your Fugus.
Oh, I know. The Fugu
That's-
too. That was no good.
All 3 of you should feel
things-
bad for your
The
Fugus.
only things I practiced before my run, every single thing I practiced were the things that went the absolute worst. in this
Fugu
run.
and 6.5.
That's how it goes. That's why I don't
want to
practice.
6.5.
No more
Practice
practice.
Dodo and
I
shit.
just want to say it right here for our pitch. None of these runners will practice until SGDQ. So
Actually, you know, I want to say shout outs to Cruncha because he hasn't done a run in what? Months now. He hasn't grinded attempts.
yeah,
so for him to
it's
come in
been-
here and
we talked
almost
about he's been,
win it.
busy on the shiny. Yeah, up at
Oh, he was ahead.
Crunch
Yeah,
is
up
on
until
an
what, like
amazing
6'2",
run,
he
up
was
to
ahead.
6'3". Up to 6:30,
Yeah.
yeah, he was on amazing pace. So yeah, that's what I still say. Like I know it got a little blown up there, kind of at the end for both Mumu and Crunch. Obviously, 6.5 was a pretty rough level for both runners. But as we said, 6.5 hardest level in the game. That can happen. I think nothing more than that. I think all these runners can say they would love to have another shot at SGDQ. To kind of get that level among the rest of the game going. You know, I guess I can throw it over to the runners for any thoughts they might have on the run, any pitches they want to throw in addition to what we've already said.
Real
for this
quick, I want
community.
to say a huge thank you to NKB for making the layout for us.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people that really enjoyed it, thought it was a pretty cool layout. I have to agree. I thought it was very professional looking, very well done. So.
But yeah, do we have anything from the 3 runners that you guys want to say as like closing comments or anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
much.
Absolutely. I
It was a good race. That's all there is to say.
Yeah, it was a very... Yeah, don't let the ending judge it for you. That was a very, very good race for 5.5 worlds. So, you got to see a lot of great play pulled off. All 3 of you pulled off so many things. So, yeah, I guess In closing, just want to say again, I think this would be a great addition to SGDQ. I think it'd be one of the best races we've got out there. It's a game that people are still familiar with from HGDQ. And like I said, the PBs, you could see it right there. The PBs of these three are separated by a mere 16 seconds. So, you know, it's there. It's there if you want it. So, with that, I am SpikeVegeta.
I'm Gulo too.
Not so newbie.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.